Happy Saturday, everybody. Welcome to Skinemax Saturday, and the camera's already blurry as fuck. Thank you so much. This great technology, not ready to curse too, so we're going to get censored and all that other kinds of crap. I don't care. It's Saturday, and we're here to have fun, laid back, not give a fuck. I love this. Look at this amazing setup I have here. This is thanks to Devil Made Me Do It. Got me this amazing setup. We have a logo over here made by our buddy Raster Caster, who I believe just popped in. And look at this wonderful cast of characters that we have right here going around the horn. Let's start off. But first, I'm going to hit this up first. We want to promote, make sure not to forget that on Vets Talking Tuesday, 7:45 next Tuesday here on Vets Talking, the one and the only comics division. And about an hour before we started, Mr. Division himself hit me up and invited me on to Yelling at Parked Cars on his show on Monday at 5 o'clock Eastern. So come on to his show, and I'll be on there promoting my show, which you guys got to check out on Tuesday. That being said, let's go around the horn, starting with the man over here, all the way in the corner, who made this awesome background for me. Devil Made Me Do It. What's up, buddy?
And not much. I'm Devil Made Me Do It, Nalik3 on Twitter. I'm happy to be here, ready for some fun.
Hell yeah, you're awesome, dude. This background is so fucked. Hold on, I wanna point out a couple things here because the detail you put in here is mind blowing, man. First off, order a drink with fruit, and you get the boot. No, you can't. Logo's covering up. We got a Commander in Queef over here. Love that. 556 right in the middle behind my head. That's amazing. And what does this one say again?
It says, if you're going to talk shit, be sure you bury it. And it's on one of the shovels.
There you go. Fuck yeah, man. Fuck yeah. And I even noticed, I don't know who these other guys are on this picture because this is not actually a picture of me deployed, but you did put my face in here. That's so fucking cool. That's cool. I noticed that. So you're awesome, dude. Thank you so much for doing that.
No problem. Man.
All right, moving on. The furry one, Mr. Horny Alf. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, man. Thanks for having me on. Horny Alf. Find me on Twitter. Usually making memes or pissing people off. Yeah, glad to be here. First Air Force veteran mentioned, so.
Yeah. I think us Army and Marines, we're becoming the minority in our little Vets Talking group. We have more Air Force than anything else. So including this man right down here who made the awesome logo that you see in the upper left corner over there. We don't have a name for him yet, but that's our new mascot. It says Born to Meme on the side of his helmet. Fucking cool as shit. Thank you for making that, buddy.
No, that's going to be Jody. Yeah. Alf, you're not going to why don't you ever promote your Instagram?
Well, I do say, hey, we're on Vets Talking on Facebook. And
he's ashamed of it.
Instagram.
All right. I'd be ashamed to be seen with us too.
The one that basically is just it's just furry porn art. This his.
That Instagram.
I'm sticking to it. It's his.
Everyone's got to have a hobby.
His handle is hard furry on Twitter.
So here's what happened. Here's what happened, everybody. Right. So I put these tweets out every time, and I include the handles for each of these guys in the tweet. And all I did when I created the Instagram is I copy and pasted that tweet onto the Instagram. And then it occurred to me after the first or second time we did that, I checked to see the handles, and all the handles were wrong. But the only one that did work was Horny Alf's. But it went to a guy who promoted himself as a bisexual furry.
Yeah, I can actually give a little backstory.
Go to the wrong person.
So,
hey, Alf's
when I created, when I first created my Twitter account, I was gonna make it Horny Alf at Horny Alf. Some jackass already taken at Horny Alf, so I had to think of something else. So I just put Hard Furry, and when I went to Instagram, they actually had Horny Alf available, so I made that one. Well, then of course, this situation arises, and I get confused with some bisexual furry.
I got
Confused.
news for you.
I will give it to him. He's sticking to a story pretty good.
Yes, he is. You know, you got. I
He's
mean,
got
that's
the Eliza. He got the Eliza Bleu.
Hey,
Yeah.
don't ask about my my OnlyFans page. It's called OnlyFur.
Get all your furry content right there. Exposed.
Eliza Bleu cheese ass.
Oh,
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. This is from the last live stream I was on, just like 25
Jesus.
minutes ago.
He's
I
been
am
checking himself.
Ryan. I am Ryan from Legion Games 2076, but they changed it to Eliza Blue Cheese, and I added the ass part because, quite frankly, if you've seen her ass, it looks like. I'm doing good, man.
It's not attractive.
It's not the greatest, especially when you see the one that it's not like photoshopped or airbrushed or whatever the fuck. You got like ingrown hairs and shit on that crap. But yeah, it's good to be here, man. We're gonna have fun.
Absolutely, man. Moving on, Pope Metallicus. How are you, Mr. Marine, our resident Marine? Hoorah!
How's it going, boys? It has been a fun week for me. Glad to be here as always to, hang out and swap dick jokes with you retards. And then tomorrow I will be on my show at Rock and Roll Religion over on my channel. And we're going to be covering one of my favorite bands, Rainbow. Kick-ass early power metal band.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, and you and me, this is a little promotion too. You and me, we've been talking about coming on and maybe doing a series of. My idea is to do music that has kind of like the patriotic or military message kind of thing. And first off, right away, I want to do Tom McDonald. I love Tom McDonald so much, and especially his lyrics and stuff. He's amazing. So I would love to be able to go through those, and I will especially be focusing on the lyrics. And all the meaning behind it. While you, who is Mr. Music over here, you can definitely hit on the musical aspect of that.
Absolutely, and we'll have to get into groups like Sabaton and Iced Earth too. I mean, Sabaton's entire discography is military history told in the form of power metal.
Oh, nice.
Hell
So it's
yeah.
fucking glorious. Plus, I've seen them like 4 times live, and they're an amazing band. So
Awesome. All right, well, let's say hi to our amazing chat. Nano Reaper. Hope you degenerate, drunken, sham shield wearing fucks. Awesome. Okay, well, thank you very much for that. A little aggressive, but thank you. Here's another. Is that another furry? He says fuzzy. Are you hanging out with Horny Alf?
Honest,
Good to see you, buddy.
supposed to be for, huh?
I do not touch his fuzzy dice.
Yeah, that's not
We
what I
believe you, Al.
found.
We believe
I found your OnlyFans called Only Furries.
They can be furry and fuzzy.
As long as you paid for it.
Our amazing moderator, Gap After Dark. Hello, my friend. Thank you so much for coming. Oh, hey, I was just about to ask. Mom is doing better. Awesome, dude. I'm very happy to hear that. That's pretty rough. I didn't know the whole backstory, but obviously, hearing somebody's mother is in the hospital is never a good thing. So I'm glad to hear that's going better. And that. How about who's familiar with woke? Who knows what woke is? Where is woke?
Everywhere?
Yeah.
Yeah, everywhere now.
Everywhere.
It's around
Good
us.
answer.
Somewhere around the
It's
ninth
part of
circle
us.
Well,
It might be.
It started a certain direction. It was like, oh, we're waking up to all this kind of stuff, and then it turned into a giant pile of shit. And it's like now everything is like, it seemed to get hijacked, if that makes sense.
No, this was always the plan.
Well, I think the term, like, when people would say woke, like, well, they woke up to realize that, hey, maybe this is not what they thought it was, and stuff like that. And then And much like these ass clowns fucking and I was never a huge fan of like Snowflake, but it's like going, oh, you guys are being snowflakes now. So they flopped that on us to where the weirdo leftists are now using Snowflake. And it's like, okay.
No, they started it. They created Snowflake first because they're all different. They're all unique. That's their term, and we're the ones who just point out and called them what they wanted to be called. You're fucking snowflakes who melt under pressure. Yes, that was their term. They made that because they're unique. Shit. They're all unique, like a snowflake. That is their term.
All right.
And as far as woke goes, from what I understand, I only learned this recently. Woke actually started with, I think, the Ferguson incident with BLM.
Oh, yeah.
They were the one. It was BLM who started that, and then it was all the extreme leftists who hijacked that.
Yeah, I mean, to kind of show what happened, Elon actually drug out of the closet when he bought Twitter. It actually says, "Hey, hashtag stay woke." I mean, it was actually a thing that they actually loved. Now it's funny how they go about and talk about, no, we're not that, we're not this, whatever. That's getting overused. I'm like, y'all made it.
It always follows the same pattern of we're not doing this thing. But and then when we can prove they're doing that thing, it's like, well, yes, we are, but here's why it's a good thing.
Yeah. Well, and
this is also gap. Is this an actual definition? Gap is something that's in some sort of a dictionary.
Oh,
go ahead, Ryan.
I gotta be. No, I would just say I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I would not be surprised. Also, at the same time, where did you get that from? What site? Because obviously, we know that dictionaries have changed definitions too, like Webster's dictionary changing.
That's how you can tell we are really like Orwell would have been proud of these fucks.
He says that's the definition. Yeah,
like, in the most horrible way possible. But guys like Ray Bradbury, George Orwell, and Aldous Huxley are probably looking at these guys like, oh my fuck, this was not a manual.
Well, Martin Luther King Jr. is rolling over in his fucking grave because
I'm not so sure about that, given some of the later revelations about him.
Yeah, but at the same time, Malcolm X had early revelations about that, and then he flopped. Like, so, I mean, people are gonna say stupid shit when we're younger. I mean, I'm not the same person that I'm now at 37 that I was at 22. Like, I was definitely a dumbass, and I'm not saying I'm not a dumbass now, but in a different way. So it's one of those things that society evolves. But the thing is that we're always, unfortunately, on our side of the aisle, and I hate saying aisle, just as people who are trying to live and work, we're always rushing to catch up with like the idiocy in Hollywood and politics and crap like that.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, it makes guys like me really fucking mad because I didn't want to give a shit about any of this. I just wanted to go home, play my guitar, and not give a shit.
Yep.
And yet now I have to pay attention to all this crap, and it's getting into my video games and my hobbies like Warhammer and BattleTech. Now it's just like, leave me alone.
So beginning in the 2010s, it came to encompass a broader awareness of social inadequacies such as sexism, and has also been used as shorthand for American left ideas involving identity politics. So he says came from Wikipedia, which, I mean, Wikipedia is just the leftist encyclopedia. That's all it is. They can just manipulate that all over.
I love how it's gotten so bad that even one of the founders has completely disavowed everything that Wikipedia does now.
Yeah. Well, one thing I will say, I do think that the word calling everything woke, I do think kind of gets it's about on the verge of being like when anybody on the right would call somebody a snowflake. I mean, let's call it what it is. It's leftist ideology. It's just straight up what it is.
Let's call a spade a spade. They're communists.
Right. Well, it's also losing its meaning too. It's like calling everybody a Nazi. It's like, the
funny thing. Well, the difference there is we actually mean it as in they follow Marxist ideology.
Yes,
by their own admission.
Yeah, well, and also
are Marxists, therefore they are communists.
It's also socialist ideologies because, quite frankly,
all socialism is based on Marxism.
Yeah, no, I know, and the National Socialist Party, which of course would be the Nazi party.
That's the thing that the left never wants to tell people is that this is a fight between two different varieties of leftism. It is not a fight between left and right.
And they'll say like in Germany that was a right wing ideology, and it's like okay, but if you it's actually
Like
flopped.
if you look at the actual tenets of it, it's like no, this was
flopped.
It's flopped.
Yeah, well, it's flopped in the United States, and that's their stupid talking point.
Well, no, it's not.
You could go even further than that.
Like the Nazi Party was like if you went down the actual Nazi Party positions, they would be right at home in the Democratic Party of 2020.
Well, that's why I'm saying like. Sides of the aisle, technically their ideology would be considered with the Democratic Party and not actually more conservative ideas.
No, they were never conservative. They were radical socialists.
Yes.
Yeah, but the Nazis were socialists, and it's even in the name in German, National Socialist something party,
but history,
party.
They were considered the right wing in Germany.
Because the left wing a lot of left wing media was owned by the Soviet Union.
Yes.
Which is also why we have so much good PR about the Soviet Union coming out in the 40s.
My opinion was socialism and communism.
They had the bomb.
Socialism, communism, and fascism are two sides of the same coin. My honest opinion.
Well, I mean, when you look at it, Mussolini, who invented fascism, was part of a Italian socialist party before he became the leader of that party. Hell, he was a journalist for a communist newspaper in the interwar period.
The big difference is with the Nazis is that they were government working hand in hand with companies as opposed to communism, which controlled all of the sources of whatever.
That's kind of a distinction without a difference in a lot of ways.
But in the U.S., that's exactly what the left is doing. Is they're working with companies.
Well, under a fascist system, the private companies only exist as long as they do whatever the government tells them. So, is there really
Welcome, Toxic Man Flu.
Hey, Toxic Man.
Liberal fascism is an excellent read on the subject.
Yes, it is.
Advice.
It is, yeah.
But when you look at it, this unholy bastardization of private and public power is, first of all, fully intentional, and second of all, is it a difference between a communist or a fascist system at that point? Because the government is still in full control and determines who runs those companies. You don't own that company. The state allows you to keep running it.
Yeah, it's just a difference.
Well, I think the distinction is that the government basically owns the companies in communism, but in fascism, these companies collaborate with the government.
They still have the same ownership of the company because the company will belong to someone else as soon as you stop doing whatever the government says. Therefore, they're de facto in charge of it.
I think that one of the biggest things, I mean, like you said, it is part of the same. It's like, but different sides of the same coin. One of the things that I found that related to recent stuff, I mean, everybody wants to relate to something that's like something what we already encountered, such as Nazis and yada yada yada. I think the big thing is that everything that you see right now with gender ideology, everything that is so-called woke, leftist ideology, it all boils down to globalism. And the whole thing, if you really look at it, it's almost used as like some kind of social contagion. And what I mean by that is that if you go back and actually look at things like TikTok, for example, TikTok is just nothing but that stuff. But guess what? It's based out of China. China doesn't even allow their own citizens to see that. What does that tell you? That tells you that they want it on there. Yeah, they want it on there. It's
that is no different than what we used to do in the Cold War, where we had pirate radio stations broadcasting rock and roll and heavy metal into the Eastern Bloc.
Exactly. So
the Russians with our mentality.
Yep. So with everything right now, here we are now, and quite honestly, I think it was a couple of days ago they were talking about Russian warships and everything out in the like coming near our coast and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, I was sitting there thinking, you know what? That's not the scariest thing in the world. That really does not bother me. And the reason why I say that is because we're destroying ourselves much worse than they could ever do. And honestly, I was sitting there
not only that, like, everyone's like, oh, Russian warships like right near our coast. It's like, good, let them fucking try.
The woke breaker, thank you for coming by. Brie Larson loves you all. Biden is competent. Disney is the best. The left are just fine. Nothing to worry about. Oh yeah.
Was that sentence as painful to say as it sounded?
Let's just say this: if Brie Larson covered her feet up and she shut her mouth other than moaning, I'd hit that. So just for the record. It's all the other things that come with it.
We were talking about that on another stream. That's a good angry bang right there. As long as she shuts her mouth, then I'm just fine with it.
Well, did we talk about that on Tuesday night? We were talking about Brie Larson then too.
It was one of them.
We were talking about it on the Legion of Memer stream. Actually,
Okay.
Lethal Lightning mentioned it.
I'm getting them all mixed up. That's right. It was Lethal Lightning today. Yeah.
No, I think we talked about it a little bit on Tuesday night. Lethal Lightning loves Brie Larson. I don't get it because she has the funkiest looking feet. If you cover them up,
that's what I'm saying.
I think
and she probably has exploded roast beef sandwich for her fucking vagina. So just look at everything from the waist up, and you're fine.
I think he meant to be more of a hate bang.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I have a feeling she loves the angry sex.
Just mush her head in the pillow.
Slipping her.
Okay, all right. With Raster's comment on China, it's a perfect time to bring this in. Let's talk about what our military is doing. America's diversity is our Army's strength.
God,
who saw the recruitment ad, which I ranted about in one of our videos?
Which is about the moms one. Is that the one you're talking about?
Is a flower
bullies you?
Yeah, well, the Marine Corps is next, motherfucker. Remember, the Army gets everything first. You get our hand-me-downs. Now you're getting the woke bullshit after this.
Hold up. During Pride Month, the fucking Marine Corps.
Oh, yeah. Oh, trust me. We gave them shit for that.
What in the blue fucking hell?
Go to the comments on that thread. They think they locked
I was in the comments saying, like, what the fuck? Sorry.
And like a whole bunch of Marines like, yo, what is this absolute cancer? Get it away from us.
And you know
what it is? It's because the top leadership has been coerced by the government, and they are all in on it for the power. Because at any moment, the current presidency can go in and just sweep house with the leadership if they wanted to, and put in the generals that will go along with what they want.
Well, that's what guys like Stuart Scheller were talking about. When, if you guys remember the lieutenant colonel from the Marine Corps who got basically railroaded after the whole Afghanistan withdrawal last year, and he called for some of the senior leadership to be held accountable for their failures in keeping those Marines alive and their failures in an orderly withdrawal. That's what he was talking about. This is that kind of shit.
Yep.
Is it bad that I sit there?
If we had a modern Patton, then he would be discharged with dishonorable discharge just for being mean and yelling at this point.
Hey, soldier, bring up Dermy's last comment.
Forced early retirement, at least.
They say he's coming soon.
Yeah, really?
Do you mean by
he'll be coming on when
you're surrounded by guys again? And you're fucking like
yes.
Well, apparently he's currently having fun with Lofty. So.
Oh,
yep.
Whoa! I saw that. Yeah, let's do the live
Lofty stream. Here's his comment from that. He's
just make sure you just don't drop the F word.
Rings of power.
Oh God, I would get kicked off that show so fast.
I mean, I'd have a conversation with him. I'd be like, dude, but what's good about it? Like the orcs can't go in the light, and then all of a sudden they can go in the light, then they can't go in the light again. It's like, can we get some goddamn fucking consistency in that piece of shit show?
Well, I mean, I would probably last about 15 seconds before I just give him like Tucker Carlson face, and I just get stuck like that for the entire rest of the show.
I just think Lofty likes to be contrarian to be contrarian.
I think Lofty just likes to argue with people.
Yeah.
I think he just likes being a lolcow.
And I have known people like that they're just, all they like to do is argue, and I've had other friends that would just, almost like lobbing a grenade in the room, we'll start a conversation just knowing that it'll get that guy arguing, and then he'll walk away.
Every time I hear Lofty, I keep thinking about that meme about everybody having that party. Then there's that one guy in the room in the corner says, I bet those guys don't know this or whatever. And it's like, he's like,
oh yeah,
I really like this show, but they just don't know my intellect or something like that. I don't know. It's just, I I just can't stand anything when he just goes on these long rants or whatever. And I'm sitting there thinking, how can you look at it when he says, okay, it's objectively bad, like Rings of Power? None of it made sense.
Yeah,
just like you said,
they'll have shit like 2 scenes later that directly contradicts what they said.
Exactly.
Well, here's a problem. I had talked to Lofty about Lord of the Rings and Tolkien stuff. He's knowledgeable of Tolkien, but when it comes to the show, he will. Yeah, when he comes to the show, he'll be contrary to himself, just to make sure his opinion. He defends his own opinion.
That's why everyone gets so mad at him, because we know he fucking knows better.
I just think that like he finds like one thing like going, okay, I like this show maybe for this reason, so I'm going to defend said show. And he doesn't take this. So look, I'll say this: Velma is a horrendous show. I've literally watched all 6 episodes. The 5 and 6 got worse than the first 2 were. I liked literally probably 3 moments out of the whole entire show. When her dad calls her a weirdo, she's like, I don't understand why anybody doesn't like me. He's like, because you're a weirdo. I laughed. And then when they did like the montage of the girls,
one moment of honesty in that whole show.
Yeah. And then of course, there was another one when Velma in the episode 6 climbs on the pole and he's like, Velma, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm doing like every other girl here. I'm trying to get my dad's attention. And and it's like the one stripper. She's
also
like,
very honest.
Yeah.
Well,
so there are moments that are funny. I can say that and say I laughed at that, but the rest of the show is a giant pile of shit.
Yeah, well, here's 3 jokes that landed out of what 90 minutes worth of television is that's not a good ratio.
Probably like 180 at this point because each one's like 23 minutes.
I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with like okay, it's one thing where you just like mindless entertainment. Like I will sit here and be the first one to admit and everything. I like
that. Where it's just
I would like first season of like Rick and Morty. I really would. I would sit there and say that I liked it. But the thing is, if I had to look back on it and everything, yeah, it's not exactly going to be the best and everything. But I'm not going to sit there and like defend tooth and nail and everything. Something that I liked because I understand that people could objectively look at it and say, yeah, this is bad.
Rick and Morty was just never my show. Like I get why people liked it, but I was just kind of like,
yeah, and that's fine. And but the thing is that when you look at Rings of Power,
Archer, which some people rag on, was one of my favorites. I fucking love that show.
But with Lofty and the Rings of Power, he just keeps on and on.
Well, just for the record, I probably have one of the oddest takes on this. Because I studied it as history as a kid, and I always fell in love. I fell in love with the ship itself. I love the movie Titanic. Yeah, it's got a love story in it. It's fucking corny, but it's still a good movie. It's better than both Avatars. And I don't understand the love for Avatar because they are both mediocre movies at best. I give them 6.5.
And Titanic's a really cool movie, special effects wise, when you realize how they did all that, where they built like a half-scale Titanic and then fucking
look, we all know that you have that one part of that VHS tape and everything that y'all keep on wearing out. We know what it is. Don't even we know that thing
and you have the exact same one. Don't fucking lie to me.
My problem with Lofty has always been that every time you try to discuss anything with him, he comes. The way he approaches it is that you just don't understand. You're just not. I'm seeing what you're not seeing, but it's okay. I don't expect you to. It's very condescending.
That's what I was gonna say. He comes off very condescending in the way he argues.
Yeah,
I think that's on purpose to try to get people to have that reaction.
No, I agree. I was going to say that earlier. His entire thing
wish he would talk politics.
He's a shock jock. He's a shock jock now. That's what he is.
And there's a reason people only argue like that on the radio or on the internet.
I really, really wish he would talk politics because it would be hilarious. I would love to get him on one thing and get him stuck on it. And then we'll go into this weird logic loop that it's different for entertainment because in the end, it kind of like, okay, there's no lives at risk here. But when you talk about politics, so
he'll probably go for shock story time. Start sounding like Kanye.
Well, didn't Lofty fucking like Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever? Did I see that?
Wouldn't surprise me.
I can't remember the last bad take he had before this whole Rings of Power thing. It was wasn't about The Witcher. Fuck, he has so many bad takes. It's hard to keep track of.
I'm getting Dermy to make a spreadsheet.
I need a list, man. Like I can't fucking keep up.
Yeah, we go back and just use that as a source.
Well, I mean, we could be establishing a whole new scientific scale for just how stupid someone can be on the internet. So we'll call it the lofty scale.
I like that, the lofty scale.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like the higher you go up, the loftier you get. But no.
You don't go full lofty. You never go full lofty.
Is not good now.
So real quick, let's hit on this a little bit more. What do you guys think about the fact that drill sergeants will no longer be yelling at their recruits?
Gap's right.
What are they going to be doing?
Horrible.
Then how do they talk to them?
I mean, like that's the hilarious thing. Where it's just like, oh, but somebody might get stressed out. It's like, first of all, that's the whole fucking point, is to stress you out and get you out of your fucking head and force you to react.
Well, I watched a video and
they don't care. Since when do they care about how the recruit feels about it? They didn't give a shit about our feelings. They would just haze us until we made the walls sweat.
Yep.
And then whatever we did to make that happen never happened again.
I watched a video where I think it was coming from a drill sergeant who, God, I wish I would save these videos more often for this when we talk about this kind of stuff. But they're saying that that recruits have a tendency when they get yelled at, they go into defense mode and then they just shut down, and then so they don't react anymore. They don't hear you. Well, that's the fucking point, because they need to learn to react under pressure.
Well, and not only that, that's what
when they're getting yelled at is to simulate the stress of when they're in combat. When they're in combat and they're being shot at, and they have an NCO, a sergeant, is yelling at them to do something which will either save their life or save the life of somebody around them. They need to have the strength and fortitude to be able to react. That's why they get broken down in basic training and then rebuilt as a soldier. By being yelled at and by being mean to. It's not just because drill sergeants like to be mean. It's a learning lesson.
Yep.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Drill sergeants do like being mean. It's a general lifestyle choice, and they really, really enjoy it.
That's the reason why I want to be a drill sergeant.
Yeah, I want to hear a really funny.
The worst is when you see a drill sergeant walk by with that that creepy little smile on their face. It's like, oh no, that's not going to go well for somebody.
Yeah,
you're just hoping
I have a wonderful boot camp story that I'm pretty sure that they don't have this in the other branch. It's a thing at the very, very end before you get on the bus to go to your, where you train for your MOS. There's a thing they like to call amnesty hour. It's basically where you can say, where you cheated or something like that, and you just can't get in trouble. But this also allows you to ask the drill sergeant a question about something. Well, during this time, there was this whole fiasco that happened. Basically, it had everybody going at each other's throats, where they found in a trash can a Snickers wrapper. You're not supposed to have candy or anything like that. Somebody snuck that shit in.
Yeah.
So how did they get in there? How did it get in the latrine? Where'd it come from? And I remember we were like doing butterfly kicks, push-ups, and I felt like half the damn day.
Got fucking smoked.
Yep,
yeah,
they would
exactly.
That was the exact same thing in the Marine Corps, where it's just like,
and
somebody doesn't roger up and own that immediately, we will get they will literally haze us.
Well, that's what happened. That's what happened. And then finally, that we was like, we were all wondering this at one point. It literally got. We found this one guy that legitimately would seem like he would be the one to do it, now, because he was like the lofty of the group. He was the ultimate contrarian. I think he ended up getting kicked out. But the funny story is that the drill sergeant came up and said, "Yeah, I did that shit. And I was just seeing what y'all would do." I mean, that's the entire time. It was just a whole psychological thing where at no point was there actually anybody that had that Snickers wrapper. It was the drill sergeant that put it in there, and they wanted to see what they would do. I mean, that's how they messed with you. But you know what? We're better for it.
Yeah.
Just for the record, why does Dermy keep saying help? Like, where's he at that he needs help? He can't be on He can't be on Flashcast because he said something about Flashcast, and I'm like, Lofty gets roasted. He said on Flashcast.
Is he talking about
in his basement?
Argue what about?
Is he talking about Lofty wants to talk to Flashcast?
Well, Lofty's
Oh,
on
God.
We're talking about
podcast,
Dermy.
so maybe
I thought he wasn't allowed back on.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I didn't hear that.
No, yeah, they haven't been on together. No,
Yeah,
Flashcast
no,
wasn't
on
even
Flashcast.
going for a little bit.
Well, yeah, no. What the fuck happened though? Like, why was he booted? I didn't hear that.
Oh, you don't know what happened?
Yeah.
Okay, who wants to fill him in on that soap opera?
What
I
happened?
can.
New
Quick,
Year's
story
Eve.
time.
He
I
was
like
on-
story.
Okay.
He was
Let's
on
make this go away and
Flashcast.
talk proper now.
He was on Flashcast, and I guess Flash was saying some stuff. They were both drinking, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Oh, they're
And,
both drunk as shit.
Yeah. And then Lofty did his thing. He just kept trying to interrupt. He's all flash, 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 flash. And he kept saying, what was the 2 words? I think he said retard. And I think he said the F word.
I don't remember
Like,
who called it first. I'm not worried. We're not monetized faggot. One of them called the other one.
I was just gonna say maggot, but okay.
Yeah.
As far as I
And,
know, it's not. As far as I know, it's not actually a word that gets stricken on here. I mean, even here's the thing: is that I think it was actually Flash who said it to him first, and then when he said it back, he started accusing him of intentionally trying to get his channel banned. And then what's funny is Flash still kept on repeating the same word, saying, "Don't say that word. You're gonna get my channel banned." Like, you're fucking saying it too. The thing is, they're both drunk as shit. They were both being really fucking stupid, and then it all turned into massive drama the next day. So,
I completely missed that.
I will say this though. The reason why I kind of come to Yellow Flash's defense on this is that it's his fucking stream, and it's like if I'm on somebody else's stream, I'm not going to sit here and like disrespect somebody on there, because guess what? He can get the boot.
Good on him. Whatever.
Yeah.
Dermy,
and that's what I'm saying.
Dermy, if you're in so much pain, then just come over here, man. You're already in the chat. Just fucking
pull the handle, Dermy.
Get in here.
Pull the ripcord, motherfucker.
Tell him you have to take a dump.
Jesus.
Get out of there. Eject.
Hey, Tina. Good evening, our friend. How are you?
I think
welcome, Tina.
I think Dermy needs to just let him cook a little bit. He's good.
Somebody needs to make
you know what? This
of Dermy as frickin' Porkins. Just no. Pull out, Dermy.
Dermy, this is your basic train. You need to suffer through it and then build back up and be a better soldier on the outside.
This builds character.
Yes.
You're being
we do this because we love you.
No longer a soldier there, politician.
That is a major problem in our military, where basically anyone beyond the field grade is an absolute retard who's put there by Congress rather than having an actual understanding of military doctrine, tactics, strategy, logistics.
Yeah, no, go ahead. Sorry.
I have one stipulation. If we're going to do if we go into another war, God forbid, I have one stipulation that all senators and Congress people, their firstborn has to go into infantry, and they cannot get promoted.
It's never going to happen. So I don't know why we even talk about it. It's never going to. Well, I mean, unless you're talking ancient warfare, in which case you have guys like Alexander, who the rest of his army had to try to keep up with him because he was that guy. The guys in the leadership cast are never on the front lines ever.
Oh, well, that's what my point is that will never happen. But the thing is that they have no skin in the game, but to be glad to put somebody else's children into the war.
But also at the same time, do you think their kids could pass a PT test? Like
probably not.
The majority of high school kids can't pass.
Do you think their kids are actually intelligent enough to pass the ASVAB? And this is coming from an infantry marine.
It doesn't matter about the ASVAB. I don't think their fat ass can pass PT tests. They sit at home all the fucking time. They're pampered. They don't exert any energy. Bone density in kids is down, legitimately down. Like they can't actually survive the rigorous of what the basic training we went through. And look,
I was reading something the other day that the testosterone in young men is down 25% from our parents' generation to ours. Yeah, it's probably the same from ours to this generation.
You want to hear the conversations they must have to come up with this shit. They're sitting, up there talking about how to make a fighting force, and they're like, okay, instead of waterboarding the Navy SEALs to show them, how to deal with something like that, I know what we'll do. We'll just dislike one of their tweets. Be the same thing.
It's like. Meanwhile, you have fucking Ivan Intelligence over there who's just hooking someone's ball bag up to a car battery because he thinks it's funny.
Exactly.
I don't think they could handle it. I really don't think. I got tased for fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm not talking about drive stun. I'm talking about literally with the darts.
There was a reason they didn't give the infantry any kind of non-lethal weapon because they realized we'd be tasing each other constantly. Let's face it. How often did you get goosed? Imagine that with a friggin' taser.
We got in trouble for taking pepper spray and put it into the vents of a patrol vehicle, and then when it turned on,
No, so this is interesting. Thank you for sharing this.
You know the little vent pipe on the porta shitters?
Yeah.
I would chuck rocks down there to make it splash when I knew there was someone in there.
You're an ass. What the fuck is wrong with you?
He's a Marine. That's just what they do. They're all like that.
Well, I almost got caught once because I did that, and then I heard our company EXO start just screaming from inside the thing, and immediately just took off.
Oh, that's really fucking funny.
All right. I was going to talk about China, but you know what? We have something even juicier. Dermy Wermy, give us the scoop.
Are you and Lofty done? Are you guys done flirting with each other?
I don't know. The dude's. I laid out the argument. I believe that there's such a thing as objectively shit movies, TV shows, and art.
Yeah, I saw a little bit on Twitter where he's like, "You want to come on and debate this?" And it's like, all right.
He wouldn't listen to what I was saying at all. He kept trying to go into other directions, and then he's saying I'm retarded and childish.
Dermy, you're talking to a guy that we could probably lock him into a room, chained down with his eyes peeled wide open, with the room played on 24/7 for 2 weeks straight and everything, and he'll come out and say, "No, that's still not objectively bad."
Shit. And he tried to argue me that the room isn't objectively bad. To try to figure that out. No, the room's bad. He said no, the movie's bad, but it's not objectively bad. It's subjectively.
Okay, so the stream is I triggered Twitter with my contrarian Megan review. Is that the one you were just on?
Yeah, and I did blow up because the dude does not listen.
Okay, I will be watching this later.
Real quick,
I have one good thing that I will say about Lofty. I will say this: if there was ever a war, I would say that I would want him to be in intelligence. The reason why I say this is because I don't think you could hook that car battery to him. He will not give it up. He will not give it up.
He won't.
He will.
He ended up wanting to argue why people call him a contrarian, why people constantly try to bring up the fact that he liked the first 2 episodes of Rings of Power. And then when he started saying I'm childish for everything, I brought up, well, it's kind of childish to say flash, flash, flash all the time on Flashcast. And then he wanted to debate the Flashcast situation. It's like, my God, I can't go into too much detail on that because of individuals.
Well, I just learned about that. I think he's still kind of like reeling from that. It's like, dude, you fucked up. You're on somebody else's channel. Don't say certain things. Like, I'm not gonna come on this channel and be like, oh my God, all those N-words out there, like fuck them all. Like, it's like, dude, the hell's wrong with you? Like, if he says it, it's his channel. It's his responsibility.
Well, he tries to argue that Anna was saying those words
just
too.
Call him just some Lofty.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Oh yeah.
He went full on
just some Lofty.
Sumo's in the chat. Sumo called him on the fact that he was self-censoring on his own stream, saying F slur and the other religion that shall not be named. Sumo called him on it, and he just went full on to it. Just started saying the F slur out loud and religion that shall not be named.
That's too much.
When he actually shaves his head in real life, does his little avatar get his head shaven too?
I hope
so. Like a Britney Spears moment.
Well, see, and what's kind of weird is that, like, when I first started my Legion Talk channel, he was one of the people I actually interviewed and talked about, the work he does for the quartering and how, like, I think he does good work when it comes to memeing shit. I think he's very good at it, but his takes on actual shows aren't the greatest. And look, you can love whatever you want. There was like a 30-second clip of Velma that I loved, and I was laughing my ass off. Is it good? Does it make the rest of the show good? No. I can objectively say I liked that, but the rest is a pile of shit.
We all know the Arby's sandwich isn't good in real life as it is in the commercials.
Yeah,
True.
That thing is not 6 inches high.
It's also kind of like, so Gap just mentioned, something about Britney Spears. Well, you have people like going, well, she, when she did Baby One More Time, she, she was old enough. It's like, no, she wasn't. She was fucking like 15, dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and they were sexualizing her, like, hit me, baby, one more time. It's like, you can be objective and say, for the time, yeah, that was a fire video, and a lot of people loved it. But at the same time, most people didn't realize she was like 15, and now that they know, it's creepy. So you should be able to say, hey, that was creepy. But for the time, nobody knew, right? There's nuance there. He has a hard time finding that nuance, it seems like, recently.
I want to talk about something interesting with Britney Spears. You should watch that documentary.
Yeah, that was on Midweek Hump. He and Nerdrotic got into a massive yelling match, and Shagsworth had to mute everybody, including Nerdrotic.
Jeez, I didn't see that one either.
That was prior to New Year's Eve.
Okay, I'll try to look that one up because I didn't see that. I'm literally behind on all this crap. Gary is on Flashcast tonight, so I wonder.
He was on Sporting News Podcast earlier. With Chad.
Okay.
Gary actually bothered to yell at Lofty. I would figure Gary would be like, okay,
because
whatever.
Lofty. So I'm throwing some blame at Shags. He should have thought this one out a little bit more. It was supposed to be Nerdrotic. Nerdrotic was supposed to be their big end of year guest, and in the middle of the stream, they bring Lofty on.
Oh God.
That's a little bit on Shags because Shags is in charge of bringing on people, and he should have thought more before bringing him on.
That's like bringing a vegan to a nice barbecue.
Mm-hmm. It became so hard to argue with Lofty because he kept thinking I'm coping and that everything I'm doing is cringe, and
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna argue with him on that. I mean,
I know I am cringe, but I try to be good. He couldn't figure out that I'm a shit stirrer on Twitter.
Well, we all kind of are, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Except for me, I started a little too hard.
My Lofty epilogue or whatever still went unfinished. His story still continues.
Well, I mean, for Christ's sakes, he stirs shit on Twitter. He does it literally by making fucking memes and videos for the fucking quartering. Like, what are you talking about?
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. He buys that ticket.
It's like, if you're gonna dish it out, you have to be able to take it back, man. Like, it's just the way it is.
He hates being called contrarian, and he wanted me to explain why people call him contrarian. It's like, because it bothers you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because he contradicts himself all the fucking time.
There's that, and then there's also, hey, why do people like to bring up the Rings of Power situation? Because it bothers you. This is why we do it. It bothers you. If you showed it that it quit bothering you, nobody would go down those roads.
Mm-hmm. It's no different than the Multiverse of Madness. That movie was a fucking cluster. Did I like do I like Rachel McAdams and what the fuck? I can't even think of his name right now. Fucking Doctor Strange. Anyway, do I like them as actors? Absolutely. Yeah, thank you. I like them very much as actors, and I think they have great chemistry on screen. It doesn't make it a good movie. Well, I even like Wanda. I don't fucking think of her name off the top of my head either.
She's one of the twins.
Elizabeth Olsen.
Not actually.
I like her too. The movie's shit. The script is shit. I like Wong. I watched She-Hulk. Yeah, watching Wong, who's like super like reserved with that fucking skanky girl, was fucking hilarious. Is it stupid? Yeah, it's really stupid. But it's fun to watch the interaction because Wong is not like that, right? But it doesn't make the show good.
The actor, because he's like, he knows who he's supposed to be, and Wong is actually like a fairly serious character.
Yeah,
and then
that's why it was funny.
Like, I'm so glad they're paying well for this.
That's why, in my opinion, it was funny because like Wong is such a serious character, and you got like this bimbo who becomes like his best friend. It was more entertaining than the rest of the fucking She-Hulk show was, like, because it was just bad. Here comes Daredevil, just for the record, reborn. Ugh.
Oh no!
God.
But yeah, her little
They have
sidekick
CW
character in
writers.
She-Hulk, it's like you were almost hoping for like a boys moment, where like a Brock or something would just come out of nowhere and just obliterate her.
Yeah.
So you just never have to hear her speak ever again.
I'm gonna be honest. The main reason I went on the Lofty stream was because Epic Mike was gonna be there. And he didn't show up.
Don't lie, Dermy. You just like
got
looking at
baited.
the monkey cage and
Yeah.
watching.
Come on, man.
Epic. Epic
said-
Mike just fed you to the wolves,
He was like,
and it's
hey,
funny as
He
fuck.
kind of did.
Lofty's like,
Kinda
hey, I
did.
got candy. You want to get in my van?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that reminds me. I got to
I saw-
PayPal Epic Mike for that one.
I was gonna,
chased Cloud all the
I
way
was
to
gonna
Poundtown.
simp for Epic Mike. I was like, you know what? This is my chance to get in with Epic Mike, and doesn't even show up. Fuck.
You chased Cloud all the way to Pound Town.
Yeah, I chased that. I wanted to. I like Epic Mike a lot.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Oh, he's hilarious. Yeah, he's absolutely
I
fun and a
decided-
good guy.
I decided to change my avatar, make it more patriot, since I'm one of the civils on here, the civs. And I sent one to Dermy for him.
You did?
Yeah, because you're a civilian too.
Nice.
So go ahead.
True.
And, yeah. Feel free to
Yeah,
bring that out.
I'm gonna do this. I'm doing this. Oh, I am so doing. I have to get it. Oh, come on, you fucking
no.
thing.
But I just want everybody to remember that there was like some kind of like activist furry that actually for a while thought that Lofty, like Dermy, was Lofty.
Yeah, that
Well,
didn't happen.
until today,
And I
we've
want-
never seen them in the same place.
Yeah, and
I was
and,
about to say,
you don't believe how much hell I gave Dermy for like not like just rolling with that. If I ever got confused with someone like that, I would so lean into it. So they go tell their Reddit neckbeards or whatever that they just had an online debate with Lofty, and just make the lore just go all to shit.
Oh, I should have brought that up to him. That would have been funny. I don't have it yet. I'm going off stream because I don't like to. I have to download it on my phone and do a bunch of stuff. So give me a moment.
it's all right. It's all right, man. You just got embarrassed. It's cool. You were hoping to get some of that black D from Epic Mike.
Yes, I was.
Yep.
I wanted that all down my throat.
It's like that sweet cream.
I got news for you.
He wanted that afro.
Epic Mike is fucking amazing, and I
Oh,
it's
he's
not my
a
hand.
Jericho.
Dermy was like, I just wish I wish I could be his hair pick.
I'm not even fighting this. I'm just going like, yep.
You're never fighting. You're always just taking it.
He was like Dermy is like that kid from like that cartoon Recess and everything that like told on the other kids. You know, he's like trying to suck up to like the teacher and shit.
Dude, he's our version of Chunk.
He's fucking Blue Falcon.
Yeah.
I'm
The Blue
please tell
Falcon.
me
That's
you
what
guys
it
are
should be.
old-
The Blue
please tell me
Falcon.
You guys are old enough to remember the Goonies. He's our
Yeah.
Chunk.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll get Dermy do
Do
the
it.
truffle shuffle.
I've done it before.
Dermy.
Yeah, he probably does.
Dermy is a bottom.
No comment. We're not going any further into that discussion.
Dermy, what would you do? What would you do if you got a message from Timcast tomorrow? How would you respond?
From Timcast?
Yeah, Timcast.
Oh,
Would you do it?
I would do it on one condition. One simple
That you
condition.
get a new change of underwear from crusting them up and everything because you came so many times? I mean, shit.
No. Actually, I have a better condition. I get to go on there and I get to call out Eliza Bleu.
I don't think you're high profile enough for that, dude. Sorry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I wouldn't be able to get on there.
I don't even think the quartering, like he's
Should,
supposed to like he's supposed to go back like what in the next couple of weeks. I don't know.
Yeah,
if that's
well,
gonna
he was
happen.
already supposed to be on
I'd be
there.
surprised he goes. I'd be really surprised that the quartering actually goes.
I would too because
Very nice, Devil.
I'll be honest, I do love this.
It is funny.
I don't know why.
It's patriotic.
Well, it's the best thing we never knew we needed.
Yeah.
Look, that's trans power right there. I'll tell you what.
You know, the funny thing is that I think it's Rivet. I think her name was like Rivet Driver Rosie or something like that.
Rosie the Riveter.
Yeah, you drive something else.
Yeah.
So yeah, the whole thing with quartering. One thing I will say, everybody knows that I've been kind of like a little bit critical of him sometimes, because I do think he gets on that drift wagon really hard. On that drift wagon real hard. But the thing is that. I will say that once he buys into it, he totally like goes for it 100%, and it got him banned. And the thing is that he was scheduled to go on Timcast, and I mean, I kind of wonder if he's actually losing in all this. I mean, I know that
he addressed that where he was there was a scheduling conflict.
No, well, he just got to get back with him.
Yeah,
this just happened in the middle of all that.
Yeah, he said he's like, yeah, that was my fault. I flaked on it. He's like, I couldn't make it line up, and he's like, I couldn't make it. So, but to say this, I think the reason that like it seems like the quartering's like kind of losing right now is because he won't delete the tweet. It's like, well, if Eliza, the quartering being the biggest, obviously out of all the YouTubers who have been, knocked. If he deletes the tweet, he's ultimately admitting that he was wrong.
Right.
So she sues him, and they go to court. That'll be admissible, and he'll exactly, and they'll be like, "Well, you deleted it, so you admitted fault," and so that's why he has to die on that hill.
Well, and I hope that's what everybody else continues to do. And honestly, I think if everybody just keeps on or whatever, eventually Twitter's going to have to do something, because the fact is that I think it was kind of interesting earlier today. I think her name was Farron Balanced or whatever got on Twitter.
Balance.
Yeah, they're doing like this deep, like they're doing like some kind of autistic level deep dive on her. And I'm ready to see that, because
did you see the I was watching her interview with Chrissy Mayer the other day, and they are going hard.
Oh yeah, but I'm talking about they're actually going even deeper. I mean, pretty much what Chrissy's doing, she's doing good stuff, but at the end of the day, now it's just like it's just Googling shit. I mean, we can all do that.
Did you see the World Star tweet?
No, I didn't.
No. Oh, you haven't seen this yet? Here, I'm pulling it up. I pulled it up just to be on the safe side. World Star put out an announcement.
Nick Ricada said that I guess Farron actually talked to her father, and I know the quartering said he was going to reach out to her father also. That's the last time I heard.
Because that's where the safe house is. But here, breaking news: at World Star has released a statement about Eliza Bleu video via company email listed on their FB page. World Star confirms she was paid and own the rights. I think paid and owns the rights.
I mean, they own the rights.
And the owner and
paid for the video.
Yeah,
we own full rights.
Well, look,
anything further can be addressed via legal. Thank you.
Well, let me tell you something, because I actually like part of my job that I do.
This video. That I have a copy of.
So like, when it comes to like when you're doing photography, videography with any model, anything like that, it's the thing that they call is basically a consent release form, and it is industry standard. It's not like some kind of weird thing. If you went to a model and had them give them a sheet of paper that says, "Okay, you consent to use your image" and all that kind of stuff, that they wouldn't blink an eye, because that is a standard thing to do. And they sign it, and then probably without even reading it or whatever, because it's so common to do. And they sit there and say that she was trafficked and all that kind of stuff, and how that just using her image. I'm like, if anybody's going to complain, it's going to be World Star. She has no grounds for any of it. But even then, you still covered under fair use. But the thing is, she has a complete baseless claim to it. It's because it's not hers.
The other thing with this too is, if she does want to go the legal route, well, there's this thing in a lawsuit called discovering. Where the other side gets to go into your entire past and dig up all of this shit.
We get to hear her.
You want to talk about showing receipts? That's what court proceedings are all about. Where your lawyer is going to go in and show all the receipts.
Isn't Eliza Moreland or something like that?
It's Morthland.
take it down or whatever. This is now public record. So this is now a legal document.
Her legal name is Morthland. It's like Northland, but with an M. And as for what I saw Sumo say, and I was actually on that side because, you know, I don't agree with everything Brittany does. Obviously, when it comes to like pornography and stuff like that, and it fuels all this like child porn and stuff, I think it should be banned. I think that is a very bad take. However, and I was against it. I was like, hey, I want to see the other side of the receipts here. Like when this all first happened, you know, I was like, because Brittany stirs up trouble sometimes. And I don't always agree with how she does it. You know, but then again, the next morning, literally the quartering was banned too. And I was like, okay, I was completely wrong on this take. I'm like, now you have a second creator who is more grounded and, you know, and like now, yeah, I'm and
who was more a bystander and a reporter on it than anything else.
Yeah.
He didn't get directly involved in the debate.
The quartering
was just
passed.
reporting on it.
The quartering was in DMs with her.
Yep.
And she freaked out on him.
Yep.
Well, the thing is about all this is that my stance on this is, okay, just asking questions like Brittany was saying. I'm like, come on, you know what you were doing there, okay? But the thing is that you were okay to do it. And my stance on this is, I don't care if it was Hassan Piker, someone I would completely disagree with. I don't care if it was him that was done to. I would still defend him on it because no one has the right to do what Eliza Bleu did.
Exactly.
No, I will couch that.
If
it was Hassan, I'd probably wait like a week or two to say anything, just because he's advocating doing
cook it just a little bit.
So I want him to get a taste of it.
I just think that
ass off first,
I'll still defend him, but it's going to take me a minute.
But it's just that once you set that standard, then everything goes all to hell or whatever, and I don't want that.
Yeah.
So I've always said I'm going to defend whoever. 100%. Don't matter what side of the political spectrum you're on, you have that right to say it, and there needs to be a platform where you can say it. I don't care how heinous it is. Guess what? It's not going to get solved online anyway. It isn't.
No, it's not. It's probably
as long as you're not breaking any laws and you're not calling to actual violence, not like this the violence that they call thing. Oh no, you hurt somebody's feelings, that's violence. No, I'm talking about real violence. Like you actually have a threat. That's different. But and doxing, I mean,
very nice. Sumo.
Other than that and everything, it should be we should go back to internet at 2013.
I'd say internet like 2005, where it was pretty much the Wild West. There was no fucking modding. Modding was barely a thing in some of these forums. And like even places like Reddit and stuff like that were still the Wild West. And Stormfront used to have their page, and I used to go on there and troll them mercilessly because they're neo-Nazi bastards and really deserve it.
As Sumo said in the chat, unfortunately Elon has a type, and I
tends to be batshit insane,
damaged.
Yeah. I think because he comes from a fucking broken home. His father was basically a fucking sociopath who doesn't really give a shit about him and his mother even to this day. I think Elon is damaged goods, and that's why he attracts women like Amber Heard and Eliza Bleu, and all she had to do was say, hey, I'm advocating for this, and Elon was like, okay, I think this is a good thing. Also, Ella Irwin, who is now head of Twitter safety, she was advocating for the same thing as Eliza Bleu has been doing, and like saying, hey, child porn on Twitter is a huge issue. We need to talk about this. So they linked up somehow, and I'm assuming it was probably through Elon, and that's how I would probably say it's Ella Irwin who's the one pulling the trigger.
Yeah,
I don't disagree with the end goal. Like, yes, child porn is a fucking problem no matter where it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
It should be nuked off of the face of the planet. But
you shaking your ass is not.
Yeah, it's like that's not this. This is somebody asking questions about this thing that surfaced, and all she had to do was address it, be like, "Hey, it was a different time in my life. I'm not proud of it, whatever," and then move on. Like, let's face it, we were all in the military.
That would have been the appropriate answer and everything, but her pride doesn't allow that to happen. And honestly, her reaction is exactly the reaction that Brittany probably was looking for because of the fact that it outed her.
But she's acting like she has something to hide.
Yeah, and that's the reaction. Is that type of reaction shows that you have something to hide.
I don't know that Brittany knew she was going to get that reaction out of her.
I don't think that's far.
I think she was honestly asking a question, and because just like the whole Sydney Watson Jack Murphy thing, it blew up out of all proportion, out of nowhere.
I will say it's a little different. I do not think Sydney at one, because Sydney was actually completely clueless because she didn't know like the semantics of like American like slurs and stuff like that. Or not
she
slurs.
had no idea.
She didn't know what a cuck was. She really didn't.
Yeah, you could see it when he started getting angry. She's like, "Whoa, where?" She
had no clue, and I don't think Brittany knew.
She was just reading a super chat.
Yeah, I don't think Brittany knew what the reaction she was going to get was either, and I don't know that she was fully prepared for the one she got.
I think that she knew she was going. I think that she was going to get a negative reaction, but I didn't think that she was going to get the reaction that caused her to get banned. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I think I know what you're saying. You think she was going to get maybe some juicy details, but then she got nuked. I think there was. I will be completely honest. Now that I do expect there to be some sort of like I did think that she was probably maybe primed for some drama or whatever. But that's her brand, and that's okay. That is completely. That's fine. And guess what? It's still within your grounds to do that now. Then that's what journalists do. It's just part of the game. I do not falter for that. But don't come at me and say, I was just asking the question. I'm like, no, we know that was a provoking question. But the thing is, you did have the right to do that.
Hey, Dermy, in our chat group, I sent you that video, Chrissy Mayer, with the guy who came on her show claiming to know Eliza. Did you watch that?
I did watch that.
What do you think of that? Because it's very interesting that the whole group, so everybody knows, Chrissy Mayer had a group show on, and somebody called in, and this guy had a lot of inside information, not super inside. It was apparently stuff that the panel knew, and he claims that he dated both Eliza and her sister when they were younger, and basically refuted the claims of, he's like, I know her when she was claiming she was being trafficked and all this kind of stuff. So what do you think of that, Dermy?
So when you first showed it to me, and I'm trying to find that video you sent because it was on Chrissy Mayer's podcast. It was the wet spot. Mm-hmm. It was this week. When you showed it to me, I do too. I was initially like, well, I can't go off of this. I can't use this for anything because I don't know if this is legitimate. This is a calling dude. He could be just saying stuff to get clout, like what I wanted. Anyways, I hear him talking. I'm like, I can't go off any of this. Like everything that's being said here, I can't verify. The more information we gets out, I'm like, that dude was 100% correct.
Yep.
That dude was right, and I have the video pulled up too.
Here's the thing, real quick, is that he sounds legit. Like he's even like nervous. You can tell he's nervous in the way he's talking. It doesn't sound like he's trying to lie or anything like that. And nobody there could refute anything that he was claiming. And obviously, it just really comes down to whether it's bullshit or not. But if you got the video, then go ahead and share it. We'll go over it because again. Disclaimer. We're not saying this is real. We just find it very interesting if it could be. So let's go on to this. So you got the video. So yeah, I'm sure obviously let's just break it down like 8 seconds at a time or whatnot.
Okay.
Or however you think you need to. I don't know if Chrissy's gonna try to hit us with some sort of
No, I highly doubt it. No.
There's not a whole lot. It's a 9-minute video, but outside of some jokes,
Mike has thoughts on the Eliza Bleu drama.
Hey, I'm actually her ex-boyfriend.
What? No.
Yeah, I swear to God, this whole thing.
No, dude, how did you even find?
So the fact that it's a call-in and ex-boyfriend is what, when you first hear this, you're like, this can't be real.
Compound.
Oh, I've been watching Compound for years.
Whoa! This is when did you date her? Are you bullshitting me? A lot of people.
No, I swear to God,
sounds fake.
Eliza Morslin.
Yes.
I dated her sister Bethany too.
You dated her and her sister, you dog.
I swear to God.
When? When did you date her?
This would have been in high school. See, they were both homeschooled. They lived out in Port Byron, Illinois. Like,
story's starting to
there's this school called Riverdale High School, and they lived kind of out by the school, but they're both homeschooled.
You dated her in high school, even though she was homeschooled. Did they have?
Well,
there's a
I
co-op.
was in a band.
Of course,
that'll
because she
do it.
liked
That's
band
right.
guys. She liked the My Chemical Romance guy, and
We're looking for confirmation here. We need like birthmark material. Like we need birthmark.
No, I mean, like you're right about her last name. You're right about where she
You
grew
got her
up.
last name right.
Liza mentioned, farm
Her
life.
mom's name's Betsy. Her dad's name's Richard, I believe.
Yep.
And they have a farm. They live out in this farmland area.
All right, so go ahead and pause it real quick. Yeah, so again, so they're all saying like even they know like okay, so he has the information right, but even they know the information. So this is nothing secret. This is common knowledge stuff. Apparently, probably it's on Wikipedia or something like that. But I go to like you keep on hearing this guy, and it doesn't sound like somebody who's trying to fake it, you know.
Well, to be a little bit honest, the information on her is being scrubbed rapidly. So if you actually type in Eliza Bleu, you won't find pictures of her in the music videos. You have to put in her old name, Eliza Knows. You'll find some, but you won't find the same amount that you used to.
That's one of the things that's scary about Google and all these other things is like
literally
one
scrubbing
thing
it.
happens and into the memory hole it goes.
Yeah,
but the internet's forever.
I literally tried to find this stuff last night on Friday Night's Royal Rumble and to present it, and I put her name in Eliza Bleu to show pictures from the video, and I even searched Twitter, and it wasn't until today I was like, I'll search under the previous name Eliza Knows, and I only found probably literally I would say maybe a fourth of the pictures that used to be there on Google.
Holy shit! That's almost as important is showing that there is a suspicious lack of information here.
No, yeah, it's being scrubbed in real time. That's not a joke.
Like I'm sure if you looked up,
I was legitimately concerned, and I was legitimately concerned and worried about putting her name in the description on this video, and I did. Let's see what happens. But
yeah, I saw that in the stream. I'm like, oh man,
did it last night. I was nervous.
Taking a chance.
By the way, if you guys want to see what
I firmly believe that the walls are closing in, and yeah, there's somebody toting our water right now, but honestly, it isn't looking too good. And eventually, what I imagine what's going to happen is that Venti, Flash, and the Quartering are going to get their counts quietly put back on it without any explanation. And Elon and Twitter's not going to say jack shit. And she's gonna probably be loud, kicking and screaming or whatever, and she's gonna be irrelevant, and basically like an H3 type of thing, or whatever. Right? He runs his mouth or whatever. I don't understand why people even pay attention to him anymore, but yet there they are. But everybody knows they're irrelevant. Yeah, that's how she's gonna be.
Weird attracts weird. I'll just say that. But yeah, if you go in and you type in Eliza Bleu or Eliza Knows and you have moderate, which is the default on for safe search, you'll only see minimal pictures. If you turn safe search off for Eliza Bleu, you'll only get mostly pornographic pictures. That's not a joke. I've done it more than once.
Wow. Yeah, I said this last night on.
We don't need to know your search history. We know.
I said this last night on Ryan's stream. I said that this seems like the early phases of the Jack what's his name's
Jack
Murphy thing, where the initial accusations came out and he initially denied it, and then evidence dropped. And I think something's gonna drop. I would hard pressed to believe it.
That situation described was the cuckening.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the Fron balance thing or whatever. I haven't really paid much attention to her, but there's some that deep dive. What I think there's going to be something to it, and
she has a lot there. I saw if you guys see the podcast with her and Chrissy, she's going through even just the trailer, and there's a lot of pretty damning shit there.
Well,
and there's speculation again. Note for our viewers, speculation that she might have been the one.
We cannot emphasize that enough. We are not saying anything certain. This is all speculation. We're only going over this as hypotheticals and like just looking into it on our own end. But with that being said, I'm gonna back out for a minute because my end is glitching a lot. So you guys go ahead and continue the video, but I'll be right back.
Yeah. In a court of law, it's all conjecture, just to say.
You're right. So with that being said, I think the rumor is that she was not the one being trafficked, but rather the trafficker. And I think it's going to come from the stem of where I think someone's saying that house that she allegedly got with 8 bedrooms in it. And that's been spun to be like, a rescue house, but yet no one can ever say that, hey, I was the person that used it, or, she's doing great work in that area. Here's some people that I know unnamed. We haven't even got that. Heck, they can't even find the house.
If this person was doing all this brilliant work and saving all these people, you'd think at least one person would be brave enough under a situation like this to be like, no, she helped me. Like, she is legit. Like, this is actually what she does. We have heard nothing.
Look, I wouldn't be surprised that house probably has webcams in each one of those rooms or whatever, and they're probably like, "Hey, why are you staying here? If you don't have to pay rent, but if you want to, chat star."
Well, yeah, she is a chat star cam girl, and she alluded that to a way to contact her. However, there is a good solid amount of we'll say speculation that the actual house, what Humanity House is actually her parents' farmhouse, because her parents' farmhouse is on 400 acres of land, and she says it's going to be in a farm with 500 acres of land. It's an easy wishy-washy like goof up, right? So it's not even the fact that and she also started all this kind of crap too in March of 2020. Or I'm sorry, April of 2020. And what happened in March of 2020? They shut down the music industry. They shut down the the movie industry. No more rap videos. No more shaking your ass. Like, so what are you gonna do now? Where are you gonna go? And then
time's up.
And then all of a sudden,
you got to find the grift, man.
All of a sudden, she became a fucking advocate, and I've been trafficked too when I was 15. And then, of course, there's another article that says she was 17. It's like, which was it? Were you trafficked at 15 or 17, or were you trafficked from 15 to 17? Because
there's a lot of shit in her story that doesn't add up anymore.
Yeah. She says she was only trafficked twice, once as a kid, so it's either 15 or 17, and once as an adult.
I will say before we start this video, if you want to look up stuff on Eliza, use the Brave search.
Yes.
Brave browser.
They do a lot of other shit.
I'll try that. There you go.
One of the videos that what kills me is that in a previous lifetime, now let's say that I knew a lot about the legal end of all this stuff, and when she starts speaking to like where she's like an expert on what is considered trafficking, is complete bullshit. Okay, one of the things that she was saying about was like survival sex isn't like where she basically to get housing and drugs and stuff like that.
It's called prostitution.
Yeah, I was like,
legally, that's straight up prostitution.
Okay, the crap that she's saying or whatever doesn't make any sense. And then don't even get me started on I was actually disappointed in Michael Malice. I was like, this is the time where you sit there and give somebody shit and everything on a daily basis. You usually don't have a devil may cry type of persona or whatever. Malice, but you just let her just go on and say that bullshit and everything. You didn't check her on it. When she tried to say that because someone used her image to catfish people, that's trafficking. And I'm like, that is bullshit.
But I agree. Also, look at his face though when she says that. Like she says that and his face kind of like scrunches up. He's like, something weird's here, but he doesn't want to call her on it, simply because nobody wants to call out somebody who's doing this trafficking advocacy. They think they're actually doing good, even if their story might be a little weird. You don't want to call them on that.
The Corden had a perfect meme for it. That he had this meme where it said like a bunch of NPCs in the crowd and everything. It says basically all your right-leaning media groups and everything are saying you have done good work. Talking about her is like perfect. I'm like, yeah. The problem is here is that she's like she owns the cause. I'm like, you do not own the cause. You just volunteered yourself and basically announced and coronated yourself as the head of this. Now you're not. You're not.
And the worst part is that, like, it would be one thing if she could, like, a long track record of like doing this and being like ahead of the industry of, you know, the fight against this and all that. You know, can anyone name anything she's actually actually done?
No.
Helped with
other
the
than just talking about it on Twitter.
No.
Look, she's a Rachel Dolezal of human trafficking. Let's just say it. Just go ahead out and just say it because
she's Amber Heard.
Yeah.
She's literally on par with Amber Heard on the damage that she has done now.
She's Matt Best.
Yeah, just like Nana Reaper is saying on here, she's searching for attention. None of it really makes any sense. But let's carry on with this video. I'd like to at least get back into this so we can hypothetically discuss if this is real or not.
She's also a crap play, apparently.
Yeah, I dated her in high school, and I don't know. I still kind of kept in touch with her because she ended up going to school for hair cutting. I believe it was LaJames College in Davenport, Iowa. So last time I saw her, she cut my hair. But yeah, this whole thing is just.
He called in to be like, "Hey, guess what?
How was the haircut?
It's just some pretty juicy gossip.
Haircut?
You might have to go to the police with this information.
Better be
Dermy, do you know where it is when he's talking about if she's trafficked or not?
I don't know.
When she's talking about what?
When they were talking about when he knew her at the age she was supposedly trafficked. Because this discussion does go on for a bit. If you happen to know where we can skip to the juicy parts.
I don't remember off the top of my head. I'm gonna skip forward a little bit.
Yeah, she's a liar. And by the way, her age, you know, she's at least 41.
Yeah,
that's the oldest account, I guess, of her age. And she admitted, I think, at one point that she was 41, but in the past she said, "Oh, I was born in '85." So you don't think that she was sex trafficked? You don't think she was a victim of abuse?
No, I think her sister was born in '85, though. Bethany.
Basically, he says she's lying.
She's taking her sister's.
That's an easy birthday.
He knows a lot.
You can recite your siblings' birthdays, right? Like.
I'd have to think about the year.
And like, what do you think? She's changed her name so many times. Like, what do you think of all that? Have you been keeping up with her appearances?
I've seen.
You keep in touch.
I saw her on YouTube and stuff, and like Dr. Drew, and I was like, "Oh, that can't be Eliza Morthland. There's no way. She looks like her though." And it wasn't until just
because she had a brunette pixie cut, and then she was, you know, platinum blonde.
Yeah, in high school she had long blonde hair, but then she's kind of done this short hair thing for a while. But
does this seem like in character from the person you knew in high school? Does this seem like something that she's capable of, or within her means?
Yeah, she's always wanted to be famous and shit. So
I knew it. I fucking knew it.
Yeah, she's always.
Did you watch her on Blind Date?
All right, go ahead and pause.
She was on Blind Date. Yep.
She was on Blind Date.
So
she did all that.
We had a few people pop in while that was happening. So just for clarification, for if there's anybody new who wasn't watching this, so we're going over Chrissy Mayer. This person who called in says that he knew Eliza Bleu, under whatever her real name was, back in high school, all through the time period when she supposedly was involved in this human trafficking when she was a kid. And this guy, if he's real, is flat out saying she's lying. Total bullshit. Now, we're not saying definitively that is the fact. We're watching this from our point of view, saying this is just interesting information we can absorb. But if it's real,
I can definitely see that in order to because it's harder to remember, when you're doing fake ages and stuff like that. I can see her definitely taking details of her younger sister to make herself look younger or whatever, as he's saying or whatever, born in '85. I can definitely see that. That makes sense. And we basically knew spot on what the younger sister's name was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing is, any idiot can call in and be like, "Oh yeah, I used to date her," whatever, yada yada yada, and do a quick Wikipedia search. This guy knows details that not everybody would know.
The sister.
No, right
part
off the top of
is
his head too. That's the thing. It's all coming right off the top of his head. There's no ums or anything. He knows it right off the bat.
Yeah,
he does do like a just to try to like recite, but it's not like a very long or It's like,
well, we do
let
that
me
too.
think for a second. Yeah,
because we have a brain fart moment, and just like, oh shit, what was that?
Well, if he memorized all this stuff for just to lie to bullshit on Chrissy Mayer's channel, and I'm sorry I love Chrissy, but she's not fucking Geraldo or anything like that. I'm just trying to think of a fucking talk show host.
No,
who the hell's on right now. I just remember Geraldo from when I was younger, but you know what I mean. Like, why would you memorize that so hardcore for Chrissy Mayer's show?
Okay, well, this real quick. This is actually on Richard Morthland Wikipedia. Richard Morthland is a member of the Rock Island County Board and was a Republican member of the Illinois General Assembly for a single term 2011 to 2013. Morthland served on the Rock Island County Board from 2008 to 2011 and was reelected to the county board in 2016. Scrolling down, Morthland is married to Betsy Morthland and has two grown daughters, Eliza and Bethany. His eldest daughter, Eliza, is more commonly known as Eliza Bleu, Eliza Cuts, Eliza Seep, Eliza Knows. She grew to prominence in reality TV, appearing on Blind Date and traveling with the band My Chemical Romance. In season 9 of American Idol, Eliza auditioned in Chicago. In 2012, Eliza appeared with Tyra Banks on the Steve Harvey Show. She later claims that she had been sex trafficked for 15 years, starting at the age of 17.
Numbers don't add up.
No, they don't. They don't.
I'm just waiting for a family member
Numbers
to
don't
come out
add
and say
up.
something.
You know, I have 5 kids, and when I'm confronting them, they're arguing about something. Their story changes 5 different times. This is something a kid does.
Yeah. If this guy's a liar, he's a good liar because it does sound real to me. Sounds legit.
I'm
one thing that
really
always
seriously.
struck
I'm
me
waiting
as
for
weird
a
with-
cousin or
with-
somebody to come out and speak out against her.
Like, one thing that always struck me as weird with her online presence is she has like 6 aliases she goes by.
Yep.
I know of nobody else that's like that. Like, you know, me, I'm Pope Metallicus on just about fucking everything. Unless it's taken, and then I'll be like Pope Metallicus the second or some shit like that. Or just because I like messing with you guys. But this lady has like fucking 6 different identities that she goes by. That's a red flag to me.
Well, just look at Jack Murphy, who literally is using his grandfather's name. That's not actually his name.
Yeah.
This is his grandfather's name, Jack Murphy. Because he didn't want to get caught under his real name doing chatterbait, 69 for 69.
$3.
Yeah. $3.
Okay, I have to be honest with you guys. I'm her cousin. And yeah, she wasn't trafficked, but we did keep her under the stairs. And
was she Harry Potter?
Put the lotion on the skin, or just the
I was gonna say, if you tell us you have a chatterbait, I don't know what we're gonna do, but we're probably gonna pull it up on stream right now.
Well, I'll say this: her butt's not great, but you know what? It's criminal to keep them boobs. They're
fake.
Oh, they have to be fake. By the way,
they're so fake.
They're so
real
fake.
I don't know. I think she looks like shit. In my opinion.
Oh, and I love the fact that like in the music video, she's wearing the mesh top. You can literally see the literal outline of her nipples, and it's like, "Fuck, are you talking about? Like, what are you doing?"
Yeah, I remember when she got
It's
him.
on YouTube too. Well, it was
her 10th.
Just remember, Elon, the stripper doesn't love you.
She looks like a run through pink.
I know we shouldn't have to have the private talk with freaking a multi-billionaire CEO, but apparently. Next thing you know, we'll be buying a Mustang at like 28% interest.
Oh, that's yeah. Mustang 28% interest and's got a girlfriend who is a local.
Ooh, okay.
She loves me.
You went full retard, man. Never go full retard.
Everybody knows not to buy those cars outside the base.
Yeah.
Breaking.
Yeah.
The lemon lot.
I guess this happened 30 minutes ago.
Shit, I think even Dermy knows that. He wasn't even in.
Dermy has breaking news, everybody. Yes,
Well,
breaking
30
news.
minutes ago, but
30 minutes breaking. All
Share my
caps
screen.
breaking. No, you can't show your screen.
accounts are being forever banned for making jokes of Eliza Bleu now.
What the
Oh, shit. Let me see if Mike can actually get on Twitter.
Yeah,
So
because I got struck for.
Okay, that's the end of Vets Talking, everybody. Thanks for coming.
To become a victim of sex trafficking when someone stole my avatar once, I still have nightmares about it. The horrors of someone online using my non-nude photo. That is why I support Eliza Bleu. I also got sex trafficked once when they got my order wrong at Wendy's. Permaban.
Wow.
What
Oh
the?
my god!
How they don't know that's a real story?
Yeah.
Because as far as we know, that's more credible than what she's saying.
Skimitar traffics my image every day on the meme on his memes.
Look, let me tell you something.
Yeah,
Wendy's,
like that.
dumpster behind Wendy's, yeah, that's some trafficking going on there.
Hi, Aiko J. I'm guessing you're in Dermy's house because he likes surrounding himself with dudes.
I mean, I am surrounded by dudes right now.
I had you chained up in the basement.
I know whose house you're in, and how the hell did you get to my computer is the question.
See, just for the record, if you're gonna be surrounded by dudes, you need to have a little thing where you just you got a little bit of drippage coming out. It's like white. Just saying.
That goes too far.
Does it go too far?
Yeah, right now
surrounded
it's
by
dudes.
Fine, but that's too far.
You got Brie Larson's Hobbit feet. Fuck.
I don't think I have her Hobbit feed anymore because I changed my whole setup.
Yes.
Oh no, I do.
Hell, you do. Show that's nasty.
She said, right?
Speaking of people sneaking into houses, did you guys watch the Pelosi video?
Yes.
I was about to bring that up. Paul
Yeah.
Pelosi.
Let's go. Let's turn the music off and go into that.
Paul
Thank you for the
Pelosi really
segue.
likes MC Hammer.
There is a question. Just keep in mind before we go into this video. Keep a lookout.
Yeah.
Someone tell me how that door opens.
I know. It's
I
so
looked at
damn
it,
weird.
the way the camera was turning it, because the door was already open and moving. It looked like Paul opened it and just let go. But the question is, if he was under attack, why would the attacker let him open the door?
But Paul, but if you look at his hand,
that's the whole-
Paul's
yeah.
Go ahead,
Paul's
Russ.
hand, Paul's hand was on the hammer with the other guy, like they're holding hands
That's
but
right.
with the hammer. And then he had a drink, like a tumbler, in his other hand, like a big tumbler.
That's true.
Yeah.
So
It's
either he
so-
opened
so
up with an
for anyone
erection
who
or
hasn't-
something.
For anyone who hasn't seen it, here I'm going to simulate the whole thing right here. Okay, he's got the drink in his hand like I do right here. When the door opens, because here's the other weird thing too: the cop who's at the door has his back turned. Why in the fuck? And also, the fucking the police radio call has been released. And it is, I can't remember the exact code, but it is a potentially dangerous situation. So why would a trained police officer turn his back to the door looking at the road? Because when we turn around, that's when the door is being opened and you see Paul Pelosi's hand with a drink over here. The door opened this way. Paul has his hand on the hammer over here. So the whole thing doesn't make any sense because the dude's standing right here. Why would Paul open the door here? And when he turns around, we automatically already see the hand on this hammer. It makes no fucking sense.
Yeah,
that's because the other dude opened the fucking door. I'm sorry, he did. There's no way. You got hand on a hammer. You got literally what looks to be a fucking something like this, like a shot of vodka. Like I'm just sipping my vodka. Obviously, we know the Pelosi's like their alcohol. And so
let me.
We'll open the
one thing I'm really
door.
surprised. I'm surprised about this though. If you look at the ice that got spilt across the floor before he went to Snooze Town, it's the cheap. Is I would expect with all those expensive refrigerators that they would have the nice crushed ice, not the little little rounded cubes in it that us like plebes or whatever have.
Especially with Jenna Barker living there, she's probably picky as hell about her ice.
Look, everybody's got a little bit of ghetto in them, okay? So let's just accept that. We all got a little bit of cheap in there.
What's funny?
They'll buy $200 ice cream,
drink.
but yeah, they won't splurge on the good ice.
What's funny is when he opens the door, He's got the drink in his hand, and he's like, "Hey guys," and he's got a smile on his face.
Yeah, he's
like, hey, he's like, "Hey dudes, these guys dressed up for their role play."
Well, I was on another.
Yes, no, Tina, you're absolutely right. Every single person, every single person involved with this.
Yep.
Yeah,
every person involved in this entire scenario was completely wrong. The operator, both of the cops, the other cop in the video, while the other one has his back turned to the door, the other one was looking at his fucking phone. Now I think that for the benefit of the doubt, I think he was like looking up because they were looking at information. They're trying to confirm an address or something. But I don't care. You are responding to a potentially dangerous situation. Head on a fucking swivel, man. He's looking at his phone. The other dude has his back turned. The entire thing made no fucking sense. And then the door opens and you see somebody with Paul Pelosi, the Speaker of the House's husband, is holding another dude holding a fucking hammer. And all you say is, drop the hammer.
Yeah.
As soon as you see him fucking start reaching, you pull your goddamn gun out and fucking shoot the dude to stop him, not to kill him, because he hit him. He possibly could have killed the husband of the Speaker of the House.
I'll take issue.
It's gonna be kind of missed.
That one
it's
because
gonna be missed.
of doctrine. You never shoot to wound ever.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of
no. I'm saying you shoot to stop. You shoot to disable, and you shoot to stop them. That's the key. You're not shooting to kill them. You're shooting to stop them.
The terminology for law enforcement is you shoot to stop the threat.
We're not going to that. Let's not go into that right now. Stay on the place.
I will say though that the messed up part of me when he said drop the hammer. All I thought was that scene from the first Avengers movie with Thor. He's like, you told me to put the hammer down. I put the hammer down.
Yeah.
And he did. He did put the hammer down.
What's even odder is when he said, "Hey guys," and he's standing there with a drink, and then there was like an odd 3-second pause before Pelosi started reaching back for the hammer.
Yeah,
it was weird.
It was extremely weird because first off, the dispatcher, so Paul Pelosi is talking about the fact are the Capitol Police in there? And she's like, "Sir, this is San Francisco's police, PD." And he's like, "Well, my wife is Speaker of the House, so the Capitol Police are always, And she's like, "This is San Francisco PD." So clearly he's already out of his fucking mind.
Well, I don't
think that was alcohol. I think that was drugs. If you look at his face, you look at his eyes.
I disagree. I disagree to an extent on that. Yes, I do think he was under the influence. But I will say that having some internal knowledge on certain types of situations like this, that's all I would go. That right there was an attempt at a name drop. Basically, it was his way of trying to say that, hey, I'm someone important. You need to get over here now, and without completely saying it to making it so obvious or whatever. It was just.
But he said his name was Pelosi.
Yes, exactly. You know who I am. You need to bring the whole army with you. That's what that meant.
Which is
it wasn't a confusion.
Here's
control officer.
Here's what I read. Here's what I read of that. When he was asking specifically for DC police, which is always the standard of security for anyone when they're over in other places and everything. He's asking for the organization that knows how to stay quiet in bad situations.
Who
knows how to cover things up.
That you are correct on that.
Let's face it. If you work for the Capital City Police Department, how many dead hookers have you dragged out of some politician's apartment?
A lot. There's a difference between the U.S. Capitol Police and there's a difference between D.C. Metro Police. There are two different.
Yeah. You're right. So, you're right. Capitol Police is what.
The reason I'm distinguishing this is because somebody who has law enforcement experience, those cops went into that situation seeming like they didn't know what was going on. It was more of a welfare check, like a call for service, like, "Hey, sir, are you okay?"
Hey, we got a weird fucking call from this address. Can somebody go over there and make sure he's still alive?
Yeah, we got a weird call, and then of course you see the dialogue. Hold on. Oh God,
this is some video from the whole incident. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Do this. Oh no.
I've been watching so much news that I think my mind's going nuts. Because as of lately, you want to know who I would fuck? Nancy Pelosi. Someone tell that granny to blow me. I take everything.
I'm not even mad. That's amazing.
The box bag. I'd grab her by the nipples and I flip them up and down until they're flapping in the wind, and then I'd spin them all around and go. Every time I think of them things, I'm giddy. She's far from the itty bitty titty committee. Come on, man. She can start her own team.
Come on, you knew that was worth. You knew that was worth the interruption.
That's pretty good.
That was.
Made me do it.
I think there is something. I think there is something to the fact that he was looking for his wife's bodyguard contingent to try to keep it under wraps, whatever was going on. So.
But at the same time, if she's not there, the Capitol Police aren't going to be there. And I see what Gap says. The Capitol Police weren't monitoring the house like they should do. If Nancy's not there, they're not going to monitor the house in the same way. And he called 911 specifically, which gets you San Francisco PD dispatch. So you're talking about two different systems.
The thing I took away from it was they showed a video of the guy actually breaking in, the video of him hitting the window and stuff. Though I never bought into the whole gay thing that this was some gay interlude or some shit. But I did think that it might have been a drug deal, like he needed to score something, and this because the dude looks like a drug dealer.
Oh, absolutely.
Anyway, and I thought maybe he showed up at the house. He buys whatever. They start to do a little drugs. He says, "Oh yeah, my wife's Nancy Pelosi." The dude freaks out because he's all like, "Oh my god, government! Oh, are you some narc type thing?" And that's how it happened, and that's what they were trying to cover up. I never bought into the gay thing though.
Here's my thing. I love to stick with the joke, and let me say why. I think they should ride with it because the entire time they tried to spin this on some right wing. Like this is a like domestic terrorist type of thing or whatever. And I'm like, they took pictures in front of the guy's house. He has like a weed pride flag with Black Lives Matter and everything all around his house.
The man's like a card carrying member of the Green Party.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised and everything. The guy has some his black bloc like circus costume for his Antifa rides. I mean, the whole thing with them trying to instantly when it comes out, they did the same thing with the Asian shooter at Monterey Park. I thought, what's the name of the park? Anyway, they instantly said,
found out he wasn't white. They fucking buried it.
Yeah, it's like they immediately come out. This is a product of like right wing extremism, and I was like, no, he's a hard like raging leftist. Everybody did a deep dive on him and proving it. Same thing with the Pape guy.
Yeah,
this Pape guy. Yeah, I mean, this is, and you know what? They do it in the news. The news does it. So you know what? If you want to spin this into some like homoerotic type of thing and everything. Sure, go right ahead now because they do the same shit to us. So fuck it.
To be fair,
it's the exact same. They do the exact same thing every single time. And any single time there's any kind of an incident that can politically be advantageous to them, they're always going to turn it to some sort of white supremacy and some sort of extremism on the right. Just like any time if a black person is killed by a cop, they immediately say it's a white supremacist racist cop, even after when it turns out that it was a black officer, like what just happened recently. It was like five black officers.
Yeah.
People still rioting across the entire fucking country claiming racism because the news media doesn't fucking care. They're pushing, they want to riot, and the news media takes advantage of that. They push a narrative, and everyone believes it, and then they just go, yeah, it happens.
Well, there's only one man.
And it's the exact same thing that happens with this.
I call all this rioting what it is: a failure of leadership, a failure of testicular fortitude.
Opportunism.
No, it's like you can allow people to protest and whatever, and go and have their say and all that. The second things get out of hand and shit starts getting lit on fire, crack down.
Yep.
You come in there, start cracking skulls, and start taking people to fucking jail.
There's only one man that can save Memphis, and his name is Kyle Rittenhouse.
Dun, dun, dun.
In a world where people burn down cities.
I never thought we'd be in
black officers kill black dudes.
RoboCop would be the good one.
Look, I got to be honest. I saw that video. That looked like a fucking legal mugging. I'm sorry. That looks like some gangland shit. Like those are not police officers.
The one that got me was there was no even hint of a handcuff anywhere near there. It's just like, and
oh
we all
no,
got trained to take people down.
He had his handcuffs. He had his handcuffs behind his back. You can see them lifting up, and his arms go backwards like he's cuffed. They beat the shit out of him in handcuffs.
I mean, I'll take it that he resisted, but after a certain
absolutely.
point,
But after, like, you're not.
Like, there's a time and place for all that shit. Like, even like us on the battlefield, like when we take prisoners, like, you kick him in the ribs a little bit to fucking flip him over. Sure, lean into him a little bit. Then you fucking cuff them, put them in the truck. And
once they lose the capability, to fight, or they back down, you back down.
Yeah, exactly.
Or like I said, you hit them once, let them know you're pissed off at them for making them chase you, and then it's fucking over.
Once they're in the bracelets, dude, it's over. Like, you got control. If they take off running, yes, you might have to tackle them if you're that incompetent to run after a guy with his hands behind his back.
If he's still running his mouth and still being a dick, maybe he bumps his head going into the cruiser a little bit.
I would do that.
To be clear, anyone watching this, this is does not matter the color of your skin. You're going to get treated the same.
No,
we're not saying
if you're being
this is how we treat.
We head going in the cruiser a little bit, and that's
everybody. Everybody needs some rough treatment. If you're fighting with the cop, you need some rough treatment. It doesn't matter what you look.
Just like when you're a kid and you're being a little shit in the grocery store, and your dad whacks you upside the head. He's not doing it to be mean. He's doing it because you're being a little shit and you need to stop.
I will say this and everything from I will say that some knowledge that if you're in the urban area, the rural area, and you want to run from the cops, and you're not the fastest one, do not run into the woods. Do not run into the woods, because it will not end good for you. Because guess what? You can trip and fall a lot. From there to the police car. But yeah, you're right. The thing is that people will say that this is racially motivated and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, let me get this straight. So you mean to tell me that a cop is like going to put on his belt on? I was like, oh, I'm going to go suppress some minorities today. No, that's not what they do. The best any
a cop.
Well, it was like the George Floyd thing, where it came out during the trial that basically him and Floyd had a beef, had a personal fucking disagreement with each other, and is Chauvin wrong for fucking using his authority to take that out on him? Yup.
Yeah,
but it wasn't a racially motivated thing. It's because
there is some wrong that they have done and everything, but it is not racially motivated, and it is not a systematic thing like they make it out. And
I'm guessing there was something personal between these guys. That doesn't happen out of the blue.
The thing that gets me about this is like most experienced officers, if they tell you now that they're looking for action and all that, no, those are guys that have been serving under 5 years. The guys that served over 5 years, a perfect day on a shift is when they're sitting in the parking lot watching YouTube videos on their phone and nobody fucks with them for the entire shift and everything. That's a perfect day. That's a perfect day.
One of my best friends is a cop, and like you say, like the new guys and the guys who are a little tapped in the head are the ones who are out there looking for a problem. Most cops are out there to collect a paycheck, and if they don't even have to interact with the public on once in a shift, that's fucking perfect.
Well, okay, so I'll say this: the best cops are the ones that want to do the job because they actually want to serve their community and actually make it a real difference for their kids, their family, their friends. It's the same thing with the military. The guys that are like super high speed, who don't care who they fucking trample, they don't care how they have to get there to get promoted. Those are the guys that make bad cops. Because
and unfortunately, those are the guys that stay in, because most of the guys like us that actually knew our jobs and were willing to help our Joes out and all that.
Yeah,
we all get sick of being trampled on and getting the shit end of the stick, and eventually we just say, "All right, I'm out."
Yeah, that's not how it works. And trust me, I've worked with a lot of guys that it's like you have a situation, you're talking to somebody, you're on a traffic stop, and they say, hey, whatever radio sign, Charles 137 en route to your location. You're like, fuck, it's just like, dude, okay. It's, you want to wrap it up, right? It could be a slow night, but like, they're not doing nothing. You did a traffic stop. They just want to roll by to see if you're okay. But you know that if they fucking come into the situation,
it's just going to get worse.
It's going to get worse.
Let me tell you the perspective when they have to do every cop that lays hands on somebody is going to have to do a use of force report, and that use of force report and everything is a pain in the ass. It's
like 7 pages long,
and it gets filed. It gets filed through the Department of Justice too. It becomes a stat. Every one of them does. What a lot of people don't realize, even traffic stops are done that way. It's called a traffic stop report. And on those traffic stop reports, you have to log in the demographics and the age and everything of all the traffic stops that you do. And then it even says what is the reason for the stop.
Yep.
So you can every traffic stop that you do through an entire shift now is logged into that. If they don't and they get actually audited or whatever, someone could lose their job over that. And they're talking about like it's all systematic. They got all these things they need to correct. I was like, no. The problem is that you got poor leadership, just like you said, and everything. Is that we got two sides of the problem now. You got poor leadership, you got poor training, and then you like I think someone said something earlier in there that these people that were hired at Memphis were not actually part of the regular application process. They bypassed a lot because of pushes from city council.
Oh, really?
Oh, quotas, huh?
Fuck, that's bad.
That there was some sort of push or whatever to have these expedited through, not through the normal hiring process, which I've never heard of, but that is something that I would believe that if it is true.
So I want to allude to the training situation in law enforcement, and I have a feeling it hasn't really changed much. Twice a year, you qualify with your service weapon.
Yeah,
that's it. Twice a year, you qualify twice a year with hand to hand. That's it. So
it's a crap hand to hand.
Literally,
you want to know something scarier? The driving part.
Oh, you only go through that in the academy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only time you do this is if you actually get pursuit training.
And if you don't have pursuit training, and and nowadays, like, they don't even really pursue. They take the license plate and they rack you up later.
That depends on the agency.
Yeah. Usually the southern agencies are a little more lenient on but like where I lived in Colorado, I was raised like, no, they don't pursue anymore because, quite frankly, it's a hazard to the not just to the police officers, but the general public. And that's the right look. I don't necessarily agree with that in a sense, but you could also do like a low speed pursuit where you're like they're driving like 50 and you're behind them at like 50, and now if they take off and they go flying 80 miles an hour down a fucking residential road, that's terrible. You don't do that because the threat to life and limb is drastically increased for the public, not just the individual running, not just the police officer. It's the general public that you are concerned about. And so
that's something they taught me in the police academy, is like, you get to a certain point, if there's too many civilians around, you're going to cause more damage trying to chase this guy than to.
Yeah. And also you got to look at the time too.
Well, and let him go. Later. Let him go because he's a criminal. He'll pop back up again. You'll get him.
You got the frequent flyers. That's what we call them. It's like going, I know this guy. Yeah, he frequently flies with me, and it's.
Well, one of the things is also you got to take in is that there's also a time thing too. Like, okay, for example, you have like at 1 o'clock in the morning where there's hardly any cars on the road. Then you got in the same exact area at like 2:30 or whatever, where in that same area is also a school zone.
True.
If it's a school zone, you leave that shit alone.
But also at the same time, around a school zone is houses. So what if he loses control of the car and wrecks into a house of a sleeping family?
So
these are things that you have to think about 24/7.
Honestly, I think that only matters in a bullshit litigious society like ours. Normally, it would be shit happens. So once you make contact with that suspect or with that threat, shit goes sideways. You have no idea how it's going to work out.
I'm steadily becoming an anarchist.
Only in America, where lawyers are king, would that amount to anything.
I don't agree.
Americans are willing to sue over fucking anything.
With with what Sumo Orange is saying is the same thing like in any case, like with the FBI. You can't hate on all the FBI because the regular on the ground agents are not the bad guys. It's the people in charge who are making the decisions and telling the other guys what to do. Now when it does get really bad, like the same thing, like I'm not trying to make a comparison like who was a Nazi, but like with the Nazis, when if somebody is going along and killing people who do not need to be killed, or in our case, people are being arrested who should not be arrested. Those are bad orders that should not be followed. If I'm explaining myself well enough,
you're not bad for the field agent and the FBI agent listening onto this conversation right now. You're not a bad person. You're just retarded. Like I will say this right now. The FBI agents or whatever, they do not hire prior law enforcement on the majority of the time. They hire somebody straight out of school now with a degree in underwater basket weaving with the hope that they're a specialist in the field that they get, and they have no life experience.
Yep, bachelors.
They're stupid.
No, Raster, are you on like a first name basis with your handler yet?
Yeah, his name is Dave.
Nice. Does he have like a gentle touch when he's doing cavity search?
Toxic Mac Blue's living. See you, buddy.
Big fingers.
See you, Tox.
Yeah. Hey, Toxic. Hey, thanks for coming by, buddy.
He's got those like gorilla knuckles. Oh,
I've steadily become extremely anarchist when it comes to cops, just because I would prefer you to have to rely on yourself. Sheriffs are one thing, cops are a whole nother thing. And then FBI, I'm saying get rid of it all. I'm done.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Make law enforcement the lowest possible level.
Well, no, absolutely. Why are deputy sheriffs different than a local PD
Well, because sheriffs are elected.
Sheriffs are elected.
Okay, the sheriff of a county.
That's what I said.
The deputy sheriffs are different.
That means he sets policy based on what his constituents want, and will hire deputies accordingly.
Okay,
and also at the same time, a sheriff will actually has in most cases or whatever. It depends on the state. Some states say a sheriff ain't worth like hardly shit now. They just monitor jails and
New
stuff
England
like that.
is like that, where the county sheriffs are literally in charge of prisoner transport, and that's it. It's not like where I live now in Virginia, where the county sheriff, like what he says goes.
That's how it is in Denver County.
Okay. I really want to put input on this real quick because this is actually really, really important. That the way that everything was really, I'm even taking glass off of this. The way things are set up, as far as it goes for local enforcement, the sheriff is the ultimate law of the land. The sheriff, in other words, even feds do not have the authority to supersede the orders of the sheriff. If the feds want to come in, and if the feds want to come in, and start saying, I'm taking away, we're going to start going door to door and taking away guns, then it's the sheriff's authority to say, you get the fuck out of here. You do not have the authority to do that. And that is exactly why the county where the school shooting in Connecticut, I don't want to get political and get in trouble for this, so we're not going to say any names, but the county there, after that happened, after that school shooting happened, they banned their sheriff department. And then, therefore, it was only the local appointed police department that was in charge. They got rid of their sheriff. And there are issues like that in a lot of big metropolitan areas. I know St. Louis does not have a sheriff department. They have a county police department. And these are locally appointed police chiefs that are in charge instead of people who are elected by the people and have the authority over the feds. That is a massive, massive problem. If you don't have a sheriff, that's a big problem because the sheriff is the ultimate law of the land.
Videos surfacing of the ATF trying to illegally kind of interview people about their guns recently, and the county sheriff and the guys have called the sheriff, and the sheriff has straight up arrested federal agents, going, "Nah, you don't have a warrant. You don't belong here. You're fucking trespassing. You're coming with me."
I will say that with the sheriff or whatever, there is a downside. Let's say in our society there is no perfect, so there isn't a perfect solution for everything. There's a downside to everything, and I will say that the downside with a sheriff is what his pro is that he's elected. It's also his con, because at the same time you have a lot of corruption and then that can happen with that too. And I can attest to that is really true.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a deputy working for a sheriff's department, and Sheriffs tend to be very much corrupted by the wealthy families in a county or parish. I personally saw a guy that strangled his baby mama's dad. We pepper sprayed him, and then we got him tased him, got him into the hole. He resisted, was trying to bash the window out in the hole. We sprayed him there. That's a funny story because we had to take him upstairs later to wash off. We didn't tell him that stuff would run down to his private area. And he started screaming in the shower that his dick was on fire. Either way, a day or two later, his daddy was up there and got him out. So went and talked to the sheriff. So
Sheriff, you know what? Get rid of all law enforcement. You're in charge of yourself from now on. Screw it. I'm done.
Well, that's when you'd go back to the wild, Deadwood style justice of you got a beef with somebody. Only one of you is walking away.
Okay, so
I would just say this.
Hold on.
I have no faith in the justice system.
Okay, that's fine. I want to elaborate because there was a lot said here, and it's really taken out of context badly. There's the municipality, which is county, which is always supersedes everything, right? It supersedes state and it supersedes city. So you have municipalities, number one. The sheriff doesn't get to implement laws that he thinks are worth looking into. There are just laws that are elected and that are actually made by legislature. So whatever the law is, now there is leeway to say, hey, if somebody has like 3 grams of pot on them, can you cite them and bring them back to court? Yes, there is the leeway of that officer. So deputies have power over the city. And then, of course, city actually has more power than state, and state has more power than federal. So I want to make that perfectly clear. Just because you have an elected sheriff that like you agree with, it doesn't mean that your sheriff can say, well, you know what? I think methamphetamine is a great thing. So y'all go nuts, have a good time. It doesn't.
If the state starts passing laws that are actually unconstitutional, whatever that.
Okay,
sure.
Well, we're not
in Virginia, where everybody outside of Richmond went, no, we're not enforcing that. Fuck off.
Okay, which is fine. Which is why you have sheriff's departments. A sheriff saying, I'm an elected official. I'm not going to enforce these red flag laws. I'm not going to take guns away from citizens. I'm not going to kick doors down for you guys. If you want to do it, you come here, you try it. We're going to arrest you because you're federal agents overstepping, and the states are required in a constitutional republic to check the federal government. So I just want to make that very clear because that was a really muddy way of talking about that,
especially for any non-Americans in the audience. It is a much more complicated process than it appears on a spreadsheet.
It's supposed to be complicated for that exact reason.
Yeah, because everybody has a gun pointed to their head by somebody else, essentially.
Yes,
there is
non-American.
There is no ultimate power because everybody has abilities and checks put on them by some other part of the process.
Well, it seems like a lot of you guys have some sort of law enforcement background.
No, I have no.
I don't.
I have no idea.
Hey, core member. Thank you, core members. You skipped the flash cast to hang with us. Thank you, buddy. Really appreciate you, man. Sorry to see you go, but really appreciate it.
The only experience I have with law enforcement is getting put in the silver bracelets after a night out.
Well,
hey, me too.
Well, I just was saying that I used to work the security at the ball pit at Chuck E. Cheese, so I know what it's like to deal with unruly perks. And so I'm
Thank you for your service.
He had many use of force reports on the kids.
Goddamn fucking kids! Fuck those kids.
It's like,
I know I got like super serious, like breaking it down, but your best defense is you. Mm-hmm. So
why do you think I'm advocating to get rid of it all?
Yeah, no, your best defense is you. Learn how to use a firearm, protect yourself, because guess what? Yeah. Your local sheriff's department, your local PD, if you're in Alaska State Police, they're probably a good 9 to 30 minutes away.
You can get your ass. There's a ton of training resources on YouTube. Yes. Like Soldier, you're part of my Gilded server. I have a whole little sub tab in there for just tactical stuff. That's I find pretty useful and informational.
Sumo.
I will say that one of the biggest problems is that when we started taking federal funding, because that's where a lot of stuff went sideways.
Yep.
If you really want to think about it,
then they have a say.
Right. Okay. So with a lot of stuff, I think it really kicked off a whole lot during the 80s where this became more common. But for our non-American viewers, if you really want to get right down to it, if you took the federal government out of everything, it'd probably be much better. You won't believe how efficient a state can probably run without them, because that federal funding stipulates what that state does.
We don't actually need them.
Yeah. So case in point okay, I think it was back in the 80s. I want to say, I could be wrong, where when they changed the drinking age per state and everything to receive federal highway funding, the stipulation was basically it was a bribe where you had to raise your drinking age to 21 and accept DUI laws, because it's basically to get this money, you have to do this for your laws to work or whatever. And they basically, now that was a good cause for what they were trying to do, but it's basically the highway to hell is paid for good intentions. And at that point, they made a self-insert into what they get to do with federal funding. And then you got the war of drugs came in, where your regular patrol officers put so much emphasis on trying to bust a kid and then they're smoking pot behind the high school gymnasium, where the domestic violence and everything else basically became second, because they got so many pats on the back, so many little grants they would get, and so many
the access that little money and that little recognition from
that
little bit better.
And it's like that. And it's like that to this day, where vice units and any kind of drug interdiction units are going to get all the buku's amount of money for anything. But in reality, all the other stuff and then it goes to the wayside, and that's just the way it works. And it all came from federal funding. It changed the way policing worked when that happened.
Yes, you're 1,000% right. Yes.
Well, real quick to respond to Nano Reaper's statement right here.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
I don't know. I like that clip, by the way.
Carry on.
I was just gonna say the war on drugs. I just would like to thank our illustrious president for helping to support that.
I'd just like to congratulate drugs for winning the war on drugs.
Yeah. Quite honestly, I was like,
war on drugs was amazing. Drugs. I love drugs.
It's really, if you want to think about it, you can have this at a very pragmatic way, or you can think about this and everything at a very libertarian way. Either the way you cut it and everything is that the world drugs is stupid. Okay, if you look at it like the most inhumane way, you can say, well, the problem will solve itself with fentanyl after a while.
Oh man,
that's the really nihilistic version of that argument.
I'm trying to do stuff right now, and I'm pausing my mic, and I hear all the problem, how to solve the war on drugs is just let it solve itself, man.
That's what I'm saying.
True.
That's the most inhumane way of looking at it, but then again, you also got to say there is a little bit of like kindness in my heart to sit there and say that these people have families and that they do love their family members and they do want them to seek help. And I do want people that have like drug problems there, because there's good people actually that turn their life around. And a case in point, like Gary turned himself around, and he's an outstanding human being. And so my heart does to go out to people like that. So all jokes aside and everything, the pragmatic part of me does not win over. But I will say this though, is that there is a type of a Streisand effect and everything, especially with younger people. When you say you can't have this, guess what? They're going to get that, just as Borat used to say.
Hail Green Rocks. Thank you for coming by, buddy.
Yeah, it just, it seems like, the libertarian approach, like especially the extreme libertarian approach, like legalize it all, let it work itself out. I understand.
I feel like that's the path to hell, because that's how you get places like Nassau in the Bahamas.
Not Tom the Rogue Attraction.
Rogue Attraction is in the house.
Get your ass in here right now.
I was gonna say that. You want to let
come on,
in?
Chat. Yeah, bro, you want in, bud? Superman 2. Hey, Green Rocks.
Come on, Tom.
I spent the money 2 day. I spent the money 2 day for the extras in StreamYard. So we might as well take advantage and add some more people in, since I can do more than 6.
You want happy ending?
OnlyFan finally sent you your check.
Yes, I'm finally getting the money from OnlyFans.
Yeah, finally.
I only had to show
my guys at once.
I saw
them
Tom
feet
was
pics are finally coming in, boys.
Earlier. Tom
right.
was at the parks earlier, so go by his channel, The Rogue Attraction. Tom has been a friend of mine for quite a while now. He's a great guy, and he's holding it down with park hopping and stuff like that. So he might have just got home, to be honest.
Well, it looks like he wants to
Disney down.
Well, it's not since the last time he came on here, he stayed on until like 4 a.m. on his time, and he had to wake up 2 hours after he got done.
Shit,
so
that's 4 a.m. my time.
I might feel a little guilty for even trying to get him to come back on, but he accepted. So let's let the Rogue Attraction back on and see if he's upset about that.
He's like, God damn it, I'm gonna be here till 4
he'll come on
again.
Zort has a bedtime, okay?
Rock said he'll come on if you want to send him the link.
All right. Rox is kind
I think Zort actually talks to him.
Oh, Zort has a Twitter account. I'm interested to see who runs that, by the way.
Yeah. It tells him to burn things.
It's probably Sumo Orange.
Praise Zort.
Zort has a personality of his own.
Hey, burn it down. Burn it all down.
All right. I sent both of you. No, this is
But no, like the only problem I have with libertarian philosophy is it requires a level of participation that most people are never going to agree to.
Sumo Orange says, "I run X-Ray Girl's feet." That's a Twitter.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sumo, you're not supposed to admit to that.
Sumo has like
I want to know.
He's got like a dozen accounts.
I'm guaranteeing it's actually. But I want to know who runs the.
He controls. He controls the body parts of many people, but it's not Chrissy Mayer's boobs.
No, Chrissy herself.
However, I have talked with Chrissy Mayer's boobs.
I was about to say, Chrissy met her boobs.
Chrissy Mayer's boobs.
What's up, buddy?
Well, hello there, Tom.
Hi, Ryan.
Oh, Mr. Rogue Attraction.
Hi. It's like a swollen Riddler.
Did you just get back
swollen Riddler?
Is it just me or does Tom look like a steampunk Ivan Moody?
Yeah.
The singer from Five Finger Death Punch.
Real quick, you're not mad at me for what happened on the first Skinemax stream, are you?
It's like
I don't think I'm mad at anyone for anything ever. I don't even know. I don't remember at that point.
Were you obliterated blackout drunk? Is that what happened?
No, it's just been a hectic couple of weeks. That's all.
I bullied you to get you on stream, and then when you said, "Why the hell did I even come on?" I bullied you to get your ass off.
But see, this way, Ryan asking me with Ryan on, I actually came on camera. You just got my avatar. So see, Dermy, you're worthless.
I know I'm worthless.
Look, let me break. I want to break this down for a second. Wait a minute, Dermy. You said that you bullied him, dude. You just got act like a little bitch about Lofty and everything, giving you shit.
You want me?
How does that make you?
I could get a lot of people.
That
to
makes
give
me
you
a little
Derby.
pussy. I'm a little pussy. I'm a shitster. I don't fucking care half the time. I was worried that I did piss off Tom.
No, it's fine as long as you don't act too furry. Like we're all good.
Oh, funny.
He was literally in the chat going like he was screaming in another room or whatever, like he was calling for help.
So.
Well,
this was
next
him after
time,
the stream.
Don't leave the.
I am talking scorched earth, motherfucker. I will massacre you. I will fuck you up.
I was calling for help. Sumo was
calls.
in chat, watching everything. That stream with Lofty was bullshit. He weaponizes chat against you. He refused to listen to any of your points. That's why I was starting to scream for help, because I wanted to get out.
Hey.
Well, he does do that, and there's a lot of other streamers that do weaponize chat.
Yeah. Show me on the doll, Dermy.
Hello, everybody. How you doing?
No green
Hey,
rocks.
Hell no green rocks.
My OC,
Hey,
my
it's
OCD
the first
is now
time
getting
streaming
to
through
me.
the phone, so just let me know if everything's good. I was too fucking lazy
Audio's
to turn on
okay.
the computer.
Oh, I thought you were just in a can.
Wait, hold on. Did anybody see what Jay put on Twitter? The next Star
Which-
Wars
which-
movie will continue the story of Rey. Well, that's the rumor.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's been talked about for a little bit now.
Well, the first I've heard of it. Ooh, lovely.
Daisy Ridley made a statement recently, and also Star Wars Celebration UK is coming quick, so I wouldn't be surprised.
This is when you know that franchise is dead. Is when old school Star Wars nerds like me. At this point, I'm not even mad. I'm just like,
well, all right. I'm gonna come from
I'm
two
just
audiences
done.
here. The sequel trilogies suck, but I understand from a business perspective wanting to have characters when your main characters are in their 70s.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I do
No, I
understand.
can understand that, but giving us the crap that they did give us, that's the
that's
thing
crap,
that we
yeah.
can't understand.
Well,
So
it's
like
kinda
we
like
understand that our actors are getting older, but find good replacements and actually create storylines that people want to watch.
Well, I want
This
to agree with Tom on this one. So I actually in The Force Awakens, I actually liked Rey and Finn. I thought that there was an interest there. It wasn't until like The Last Jedi that I felt like they were completely wasted. Like
Finn could have been a really cool
biggest
character.
waste
Yeah,
is
Finn was the missed opportunity.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think we all wanted
Amazing
Finn
character for
to.
introspection into somebody who's done some really horrible shit as a stormtrooper and has to come to terms with that.
Yeah,
But he
story
wasn't. He was
Turn
a
him into
janitor.
comic relief.
I was
The
hoping
story
that he would be. I was hoping that he would be like some kind of like retcon, like Cal Katarn or something like that.
It's a
I just-
stormtrooper that has to deal with the things he did for the Empire and making amends for that as he goes along would be a
But
cool
then
story.
you go beyond that. You look at the comic books at the time that were teasing in between Force Awakens and Last Jedi, where you had Poe Dameron's parents being given Force trees by Luke. Goes nowhere.
Yep.
Right? You
Yeah.
see up so much.
Poe
in the-
Dameron was supposed to die in the first
I mean,
movie.
the Finn arc in the first movie, we felt like it was actually leading somewhere, and then it felt like they just completely threw it out.
Nano Reaper, really? You're into that thick?
I just really wish I could get on board, but I know it's just a pipe dream for people that actually really love Star Wars to sit there and think that they're actually going to do something with the Veil of the Force or whatever, and reboot the whole thing. But that ain't gonna happen. Ahsoka's not going to be a turning point for this. It is not going to happen. That's just
Here's what I'll say. Star Wars will be good once KK's dead.
No,
Like
no,
in 10 years.
You have to get Star Wars away from Disney and burn it all down.
Well, no. First of all, burning Disney down would be a tragedy. Okay, first of all, people understand Disney's an American company that's one of the most influential American companies and one of like the solely American companies in terms of pop culture that's still around that isn't completely controlled by foreign investors.
Agreed.
So you can't get rid of an icon. It's like going to say, I'm going to take down the Statue of Liberty. Do you want to do that? Like Disney itself as a company,
I mean,
shouldn't be taken down.
If somebody thinks it's racist, they might.
To be fair, I wasn't talking about
this.
burning down Disney. I was talking about burning down everything that Disney made with Star Wars.
Okay, you said burn it all down.
Yeah, I should have been more clear. More of the
there definitely needs to be like a way for them to just kind of wipe the slate clean and start fresh with a lot of the
Basically,
stuff
somebody
that
else
they have.
gets the property and then just says, yeah, everything between the years of like 2010 and 2025 or whatever
well, they did it to the expanded universe. I don't see why they can't do it
basically
again.
whenever the new thing takes over. That is not canon. It never happened. We're going back to the EU.
So I think the way that Disney goes forward is that the Mandalorian is still popular, right? With normie people, it's
Normies,
still popular.
Mandalorian still popular.
Yeah, it's still relatively popular.
Still
I
popular.
will say I find it entertaining. Yes,
I do too. Is it great Star Wars? Is it phenomenal? No, it's not. But is it
good for a TV show?
Well done Star Wars that tries to put thought into it because of Jon Favreau? Yes. So go take the Mandalorian forward, take Ahsoka forward, Even if you want to cross over the Mandalorian and Ahsoka, do it for a couple of years and then end them. Give them a good send off, and then
I think that's part of Disney's problem is they want to cross over everything and blend it all into one big thing. No, have that one thing be its own thing, and you can have them interact, but don't ever, just like they did with Book of Boba Fett, where
I wouldn't be surprised they boot. I would be surprised if they actually reboot actually make a remake of the original trilogy. I would not put it past them.
Please, God,
it's
will.
Funny. It's funny you mentioned the Book of Boba Fett, but a lot of people when they showed the preview for season 3 of Mandalorian were confused on why Grogu was back with the Mandalorian because no one watched the Book of Boba Fett.
Because there was no Grogu.
Yeah,
that's why they didn't watch
it. Yep.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of people did watch it, but they watched it
I wish I didn't
to
watch
get
the Book of
content
Boba
from
Fett.
it.
No, yeah.
I mean,
people watched
they watched it like they did Velma.
Yeah.
Tom, what
you
were
don't want
say?
the sweet space Vespas?
Tom, what were you saying, Tom?
Well, no, the point is the normies will watch Grogu. Girls will watch Grogu.
Well, you say oh God, but at the same time though, there's a draw to that, right? And it's something that it's actually a character. Is it somewhat derivative? Yes, but it's like Yoda was 500 years old and in The Empire Strikes Back, correct? 900 years old. So yeah, something like that. Okay.
900.
So you're taking a character that's similar from the opposite end of the spectrum. Is it cute? Is it cuddly? Guys are kind of like, but at the same time,
it could be smart like that, but that's not where Disney's going with it, and that's
I
not
know,
why they
but
did it.
I'm talking about it in the context of how it's received. Like whatever Disney designs to do usually has the opposite effect, right? They want to push diversity in the Rise of Skywalker with a lesbian kiss. Nobody gave a shit. Tom, you wanted to say something? Sorry.
Yeah, well, they're taking their logic from their princess films, which make them lots of money, and applying it to Star Wars.
Yes.
You have a female that has a non-sexual relation with a male character and a goofy character to go along with it. That's what they do for Moana, Frozen. Every single Disney film has a princess with a plucky little comic relief character that doesn't talk and a side character that there's no sexual relations with.
That got real meta.
With the exception of my screen real quick. You pointed the wrong shoulder.
Yeah,
I'm
other
sorry.
shoulder. Yeah, there you go.
This is the only good Grogu content.
If this is where he pulls Grogu's, it's so stupid. Sorry.
Sorry. He's cute. He's the only thing in Star Wars that's cute.
You need a Disney's mock. You gotta. They need people like you to like Baby Yoda to thrive.
Yeah, it's for the merch.
We must kill Baby Yoda. We must roast Baby Yoda.
But even George Lucas made the stuff for merch.
They think
Oh,
they
yeah.
know
Yeah, but Grogu is shit.
him, and they're gonna be like,
Grogu
we can't
is
have
evil.
happy fans. We need to
The
kill them."
droids.
Yeah,
are
but don't you feel like George Lucas was more pissed about it? And it was
all he did was script it.
Wow,
Oh wait, okay.
So okay, I had a lot of opinions about this. First off, you're Az trying to be edgy, and it comes off as being an asshole. Like
that's the whole point.
It doesn't matter.
He wanted something to replace his fleshlight.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're trying to be an asshole. It invalidates your point because you're not making an actual comprehensive argument, right?
It's an emotional argument. He made an emotional argument.
It's no different than saying on the last stream I was on, like, if you don't like if you don't like children being exploited, well, then you should scream into the void and nobody's going to take you seriously. That's the problem. You have to find a common ground because the normies like it, and guess what? Normies buy tickets. Guys like us, they try to actually dissect and actually critique it. If you just have an emotional response like that, you're literally going to turn off any audience members that are normies. and the majority of your views.
I don't know. I viewed it. It was more a comedic effect. I don't think it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't a comedic effect because literally Nina says, "I like Grogu." He goes off camera and he pulls the head off of a $40 fucking plushie. I know because I have it. It's not funny. It comes off as being an ass wipe.
Well,
I like Az. I like Mahler. I like Nina. But it comes off. You're literally turning off the majority of possible an audience.
But I think the audience he's playing towards is...
All right, chat. Do we have a new Lofty?
Yeah, I could be in a new fucking Lofty if you guys want me to, but I still have nuance about it.
I'm just gonna comment
No,
I
wanted to respond.
Tom.
No, just one thing. In terms of sales, like coming from this a business perspective, you have Grogu making them at least within the first like month of Grogu being a thing, and when they had the merch available after the premiere of the first like season, right? Like they had the available Christmas, $105.2 million within like I don't know a month from sales of Grogu merch, and then it almost brought up their sales 70%.
Well, I'm from a business perspective, you're absolutely right. It's a great decision. The Grogu was a hit for them. What I'm saying is just looking at it from as if take any IP you guys love, if let's just say Transformers for the hell of it, and then all of a sudden they make a Transformers that is a sparkly purple bus.
But this isn't that. This isn't that. You're not saying it's some like little
well, what I'm
fairy
saying
thing.
Is they created that character solely for one purpose, and that was to bring a new fan base of young girls and women in that don't really care about Star Wars. They care about Grogu. And so I'm saying is as a previous fan, he is saying, fuck this little character because it's bringing people in who now they're pushing to make happy, who don't care about the source material. So I get where his anger for Grogu is.
I'm not much for gatekeeping that way.
Yeah, like I kind of agree. Like I can like agree with Ryan and disagree with him at the same time. It's like I can understand his opinion that we need to be able to reach out to normies, and we kind of need to make it feel to them that like we can express these things and have
you're
them.
Kind of arguing Disney's point there, where they keep reaching for this mythical wider audience, and it happens in the metal scene too. And it's how you get called a fucking sellout. And it's the worst thing you can possibly be. When
But
you start
remember,
sacrificing
in
artistic quality,
1977
and you start sacrificing what your message for public,
The audience isn't there anymore.
and fame. Like, look at Metallica. They like everybody listens to Metallica. They have absolutely no cred in the scene anymore.
Grogu.
I will say that. I will say that. I will say that.
Hold on.
this,
Raster. Yeah. Go ahead, Raster.
All right, in all this or whatever, I see a lot of videos being made and a lot of people making points about sales, viewership, and all this kind of stuff and everything, and I always find it irrelevant. And what I mean by that is that it's about the lore, in my opinion. As a Star Wars fan, I could give two shits what everybody else thinks and what they want to say about it, what kind of people on Twitter have to say. If the bottom line is, now, is your content good? Is it adding something to the lore? And I have to say that, I mean, a lot of people say, well, Grogu's merchandise. And it's like, yeah, he is. But guess what? We also had a lot of that shit and everything in the original trilogy. Have anyone ever seen an Ewok? So, I mean, for God's sake,
yeah, but I feel like it was less transparent back then.
Yeah, but with Grogu by no means, and I would say that Ewoks, whatever you want to call it, and everything, however you want to pronounce it, they were more egregious than anything that Grogu was and everything. So I can't sit here and say and everything that
Ewoks are
there's
awesome. Take it back.
Huh? Yeah.
Ewoks are
fucking
awesome.
I said something evil. I mean, really, you just had a bunch of teddy bears and everything help take down the Empire on the forest moon of Endor.
Cannibal teddy bears.
Yeah.
To be fair, that was supposed to be Kashyyyk, and they were supposed to be Chewbacca's.
It was cheaper to hire little people.
Wookiees. They're supposed to be Wookiees.
They gave him half the pay.
Damn it.
So
fair.
Yeah.
Well,
Half the
they
man,
were
half
going to
the
be
pace.
Wookiees, and then we figured out they didn't have that many female Marines yet. So
Yeah. So I mean, honestly, it's
Female
George
Marines
Lucas
are
was
called Wookiees. That's the joke.
Yes, that's our slang for female Marines.
George Lucas was just as
I had to
guilty of
clear
the
that up.
same stuff or whatever when they were doing this. So I mean, honestly, it's like, okay, right now I think if I correct me if I'm wrong, this is why people shouldn't hate watch shit. Velma's actually doing pretty good now for viewership now, and it's mostly because people want to see the train wreck. And guess what? That type of viewership is also going to cause probably season 2 of that same shit.
It's not.
They're like,
Those
I'm just
numbers
gonna say
are
this.
coming out
They're
from other
monetizing their
places.
haters, and that's exactly what Jeremy says. But they're monetizing their haters,
But
and it's a
they're finally
vicious
learning how to
cycle
drift.
because they watch it to make money off of it, and they make money off the people watching it to make money off of it.
And I would never make a hate bait video because of the fact that the more you're talking about it, the more it's going to trend. And this, yeah, look at Dermy. He's like, I'm making so much money off of it. Look at it.
I'm not making money off of it. I'm not making money off of it, but the reality is no.
Wait, you guys are making money?
I just
barely.
Real quick. So what White Adam said, he's like, that's a lofty level take. No, that's fine. You're more than welcome to agree with that, and I don't disagree. But
Lofty
however,
wouldn't say that.
that's why I'm not lofty, because I have nuance.
Dermy's not in the corner crying.
Oh, he told me later.
All we've put him through is
Put
natural
your
Pakistani
pants back
somebody
on,
off.
man. Jesus.
That happens after the stream.
But just saying this. Star Wars is really in a bad place, right? Everybody agrees with that.
Yes.
We have probably a handful of properties that even normies are like looking for.
Well, they killed Star Trek.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Star Trek's on death's door. Like, it's dead.
Yeah.
No one cares anymore. And that was a fan base that was very loyal, and they destroyed it.
Yeah, one of the biggest problems was
the old stuff.
The biggest problem with Star Trek is that the writers are completely retarded, and what I mean by that is not just an insult; they're literally retarded. They don't know what the actual meaning of the source material was. It was one of the few science fictions out there that was actually an optimistic view on what our future could be if we all work together.
That was
and
why
now
I
they
had
just
to
turned to this
literally
dystopian
stop watching
nightmare.
Picard after the first episode, because it's like, you made the Federation a xenophobic right wing, like whatever. It's like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, that was
Like, that is the exact opposite of everything the Federation ever was.
I mean, it took away all character growth. I mean, 7 of 9, for God's sakes. I was like, what the hell is that?
Or Picard himself. He just comes across as this pathetic old man that's apologizing for everything.
All right, guys. I don't mean to
because he's a
interrupt the
straight white man,
conversation.
so he must.
I don't mean to
Go
interrupt
ahead.
the conversation, but I gotta bounce. I gotta head out. I got some work to do for the Legion in the morning. But thanks for having me on for the short time I was on.
The hole in the hole in the schmata is looking really good right now.
It was good to see you, buddy. Have a good night.
Hey, you too, mate.
Later,
You too.
buddy.
And make
Thanks for
sure to
stopping
like,
by,
share, and
Rox.
subscribe to Vets Talking. Go follow the Twitter, and make sure to hit that notification bell, because Soldier is doing a lot of work in the background. It does support him. So have a good night, everybody. I'll talk to you soon.
I appreciate that. But also to the Legion of Memers and No Green Rocks channel. Hit him up.
Thank you,
Yes.
brother. Good night, guys.
See you, buddy.
Night.
Thanks, buddy.
What really happened to Dermy? Did he just cut out, or did
He
leave?
put in the private chat. No one's paid attention.
No.
He's saying
He's like, I'm cleaning my room.
He kicked himself by accident.
Oh, I didn't even realize he was gone. There you go, buddy.
I was the only one that looked
So
in private chat.
patiently.
Like, I don't have access. I'm sorry. I would have let you in earlier, but I
don't.
Hey,
I gotta
question.
appoint somebody.
Has his red rocket always been that red like that?
Wow.
Yes.
Whoa.
What red rocket?
The one in front of your mouth.
From time to time, it pulses different colors too.
Not mine.
Red Rocket Sparky. Red Rocket. Red Rocket
I know
Sparky. Red
better than
Rocket.
to never ever have a microphone anywhere near my mouth. I'm not going to do
Well,
that.
Soldier Spirits has AIDS.
Come on, Tom.
It has been through the bathhouse or two.
Be a part of the group. Get your mouth real close.
Pox.
Come on.
Open that mouth
it's
wide,
very
boy.
prideful. It's very prideful.
Hey, Tom, you have a pretty mouth.
You got a pretty mouth, boy.
Dermy.
I lived in the South. Those are words you don't say. You don't say those words. Man,
look at
I can send somebody down a street you don't want to go down. That those deliverance areas exist. Trust me.
Oh yeah. You ever been to fucking Alabama?
Yeah.
No, there's states I refuse to ever touch.
Oh,
I actually like Alabama. Mobile, Alabama.
Well, Dermy, cool. Dermy, you're a furry and you have a plug, so I understand.
To be perfectly fair, the moment after you started calling me a furry, I ended up getting a furry as a subscriber that watches all my videos.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Congratulations.
I will say that
enjoy.
Dermy does have the furry appeal. I mean, he. I
also have the trap.
Dermy's actually more of like a bear, technically. He's more in that community, but
did you just say trap appeal? Who said trap appeal?
Me.
Oh yes.
Just for the record, what the hell is a trap?
I'm not touching that one.
Okay.
Do I need to go down this rabbit hole? Okay, here I'm going to pull up an example.
Educate Horny Alf on what a trap is and whether it's gay or not. Are we having this discussion?
No. I am not going near that discussion. I'm a family.
I watched the Blair video on this. My answer has been there.
I'll Google it.
I am
I'm doing this live on stream. I'm doing this live on stream, buddy. Okay, presenting my screen.
Everybody stop. Everybody stop. Dermy, go ahead.
Share my screen.
Let's see it.
Share my screen.
Okay.
Just waiting for the door to open behind him.
Now. Yes.
So this here.
Oh,
what do you
God.
think this is? Is this male or female?
I ain't going near it. I know that better because it's 15.
The trap.
Oh,
It's weeb shit, so it's instant pedophilia.
Traps are femboys, so like Lofty.
All right. Well, shit.
Oh, God. I see why they confused you as Lofty. Mother of God.
Fun fact.
Anything androgynous. That's what I gotta say.
Fun fact. I did give Ryan Kennel a book of traps when we were at Anime Matsuri.
I want to
I have it
know.
recorded and everything.
Okay. You don't think that's the win that you think it is.
I thought it was hilarious.
I will say the first thing Ryan Kendall is like, thank you, and probably like first of all,
thrown out probably 5 minutes later.
I want to see what I want to see Dermy's Amazon's recommended things when he opens up the app on his phone. What kind of shit pops up in his recommends?
Amazon.
Daily
I
Gunpla.
want to see his Google history search. Like, come on, bro.
You don't want to see
Oh man,
that.
he's got to be using Brave browser or something like that, or DuckDuckGo because he don't want.
He goes to Chrome, like the Google search on his phone. It's just like, no, not again.
I use Brave.
I'm gonna admit, because we do our memes all the damn time, we have conversation about the tabs that you have open sometimes. When I was doing some of the research to get ready for this stream, I realized I still had a trans flag app or website open on my fucking thing because I was putting a trans flag behind Ryan Kinnell's on his background the other day.
So.
Just for the record, White Adam, have a great night. It was nice talking with you.
Night, dude.
And
Night.
you can call me the new Lofty all you want. I'm all for it, man.
I'm just waiting for one day that door behind Dermy is gonna slowly open, and we're gonna see what bodies he has hidden in that closet.
It's gonna be Lofty. Lofty's gonna come out of that door.
You want me to open up that door?
Yeah, a little shorty rope,
little leather suit, with a little ball in his mouth.
Why are you buttoning your pants?
What are you
I'm not
digging
putting
for?
my pants. I'm putting my belt back on.
Why was it off?
Belt off.
Because it was cutting into my stomach fat. Okay.
I was cleaning my room.
Don't judge him.
Why am I here?
I'm staying full screen on you, man.
Okay.
While
I'm
you do
gonna
this.
open that door. You want to see what's in that door?
No, I don't.
Oh God, it's gonna be like a big, furry mascot suit to fall out of it.
I don't want to see your sex dolls. I don't want to do it.
It'd be a big
Set
pink,
Eliza Bleu free.
like fox head.
No.
All right, question. Okay, analysis. Why is there a little tiny chair in there with a fan on it? Do you keep like a little person in there to cool them down or something?
Let
You
comments
can't hear
read.
anything we're saying.
Yeah, we're examining why do you have a tiny chair in there for a little kid with a fan blowing towards it?
Oh, because this is a spare bedroom with a bunch of junk in here. I have the reason why I kept rearranging my room.
Bedroom?
Yes.
Jesus.
The reason why I was rearranging my room constantly is right over
Can you
here. I
stop
have
beating the ducks right now?
I have a twin-size bed that's covered with my little sister's old bedding.
Right.
So in several of my videos this week, I have a pink background.
Dermy, I'm gonna ask you a question. Do you happen to have a GMC Astro van with a ball pit in the back?
Is it white? Is the van white?
Does it say free candy on the side of it?
Also, Dermy, this is a simple thing and it's an easy thing. Just get a colored light so the pink bed does not look as,
It's
Jared
out
from
of stream
Subway.
right now. It's out of stream.
Jared from Subway.
He probably has like some kind of porcelain anime dolls in the corner or something like that, like little
I
schoolgirls.
don't have porcelain anime dolls.
They'd break if you did something to them.
I do have.
I think I have porcelain
Demon
splinters.
Slayer. I have.
Oh, it's not a
doing this
female doll.
weird.
It was a male one. Okay.
I have Gunpla.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Oh, that's from
Dermy,
G Gundam. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Master Gundam.
Okay.
Oh God, Dermy, save some pussy for the rest of us.
I have a little Frieza. I have a Piccolo.
Hey, I can fucking top that.
I have.
You want to talk about the
I have
ultimate
Rengoku.
frickin', anti-pussy device? I have freaking minis.
I ain't gonna lie, I have quite the collection too. But just look at his face when he presents it.
I have a Cyberpunk Definitive Edition book here. Got another Cyberpunk book here. I know.
What everybody's seeing right now is
pussy
exactly.
repellent.
This is exactly how his first dates go. He's like, "You want to come see my room?"
I'm just gonna say I spent today with Krista. I spent the other day with Krista. Like, I don't have to collect Gunpla.
Yeah, Tom's like,
Baller,
see, I know women too.
I have a little Pikachu back there. I have a Bowser
Wait, what?
Jr.
Did you say I have my women too?
No, I have my Bowser Jr. I don't have women. Look at me. You think I have women?
Meanwhile, in the background,
he says, "I like
part
men."
of my Warhammer army. That's not even all of it.
That's what that door in the back is.
I didn't show
That's
you
literally just all.
everything in that closet.
Oh God.
I just think that whenever, yeah, I'm not gonna say that. No.
Yeah, I do have. I may or may not have a My Little Pony thing in here. Again from my sister.
You may or brony. So he doesn't even have a sister. It's a brony.
I have a little sister.
Uh huh.
I'm gonna leave that there. That's but I do have to get out early tomorrow. Ashley Eckstein's gonna be at Hollywood Studios, and I'm gonna be there to hang out with her. So
I'll tell you what, I'm gonna wrap this. I'm gonna wrap this up anyway. So let's go ahead and we'll start going around the horn. We'll start with you, Mr.
So
Family Friendly.
after I make fun of myself, you want to wrap it all up?
Hey, that's a good
End on a
laugh
sour
and a good
note.
positive way to end it.
We're just saving content for next stream to rip on you again.
That's what we call ending on a high note.
Look, there's
Yeah,
nothing wrong with being a
exactly.
brony. There's a whole community for you guys. I was dying laughing, dude. I was dying.
I'm pretty sure Dermy's got some bad dragons somewhere in his room.
I don't even know what the hell Bad Dragon is.
You don't need to know.
Oh God,
Holy this shit.
Is that is the fact that we immediately laughed at that mean we're going to hell?
Yes.
Probably.
Yeah.
So we're talking about going around the horn.
I'll see you guys there,
Mr. Family Friendly. Mr. Family Friendly.
He came into the wrong stream.
Family friendly, huh?
I have to keep myself. I'm in Disney all day. I need to have something to make my mind go not crazy.
Sure.
Oh.
Where can everybody find you, Mr. Family Friendly?
The Rogue Attraction on Instagram, the Rogue Attraction on YouTube. Kind of the Rogue Attraction on Twitter. I don't know. Twitter is a different animal than everything else. Same with TikTok, the rogue attraction. I don't know why, but I can do a video on TikTok 5 seconds long, gets 300,000 views in 1 second. Do the same thing on YouTube as a short, and it gets 5 views. I don't know, but whatever. And you can also find me on Geeks and Gamers Play with Fortnite on the premium nights and stuff like that, and park hopping when Jay wants to make fun of me. Expect new things, though. Things will change soon.
God, your little thing's moving.
Well, I'm looking
not because of you.
Zord moves. Look, Zord has a personality of his own. All right.
I thought that was Dermy.
But yeah, no, I don't know. New things, blah blah blah. I'm tired. I was up in New York Thursday and got back down Friday afternoon. So I'm tired.
Tom, you're awesome, dude. I appreciated you last night. I sent a simple question into the Legion chat, and all of a sudden, next thing I know, I'm having it answered on Geeks and Gamers Play while everyone was playing.
Well, Jeremy will always answer a way to make money. Jeremy will always answer when it involves making money. That's no problem. Yeah, and they still haven't fixed it yet, to my knowledge. That error they have on the mobile website. So it takes a couple of days.
Yeah, that's weird. I was not able to subscribe to the premium membership because I was using my iPad, and then I hopped on my Mac and I found that the option was on there.
It's not just an Apple thing; it's also Android. Any of the mobile browsers will not show the subscription option for that. So
they'll fix it again. Though that was a weird meta moment when I asked you. I asked not even you specifically a question, but I asked the Legion chat. And all of a sudden, Jeremy's on the fucking video there answering my question. Like, how the fuck did that happen? Thanks, Tom.
You're welcome. It was a pertinent question. You know, how to give Jeremy more money, which eventually will be giving me money. That's all that matters.
It's a circle of money.
Grift.
I'm glad I could help.
It's all about mission accomplished.
Tom, thank you.
What?
Tom, thank you so much for coming on, buddy. I really appreciate it, dude. You're awesome.
No problem. I do have to go to bed. Night,
bud.
All right. See you, bud. All right. Let's go around. We'll start down at the bottom. If you're not too busy playing with whatever you're playing with there while you're staring at your crotch there, Dermy Wermy.
Apparently, My Little Ponies.
Joy-Con.
That's what you call it.
I now understand why Jay looks so defeated all the time.
Yeah, you rub that tiny little stick.
I like playing with my Joy-Con.
Jay doesn't play with My Little Ponies. Just for the record,
Don't have My Little Ponies.
We have video evidence that says contrary.
Yes, you do.
The problem, I have the wrong image in my head right now because he probably stares at those anime dolls a little too hard.
I'm scared.
Dermy.
The circle of finance, is that like the rules of acquisition?
So, hi, I'm Dermy Wermy. I'm the guy that they all punch on. Hey, at least I can take it. You know, at least I'm better than Lofty, and I don't go off on everybody.
Okay, well, I got called Lofty, so just for the record, I probably got hit harder than you did. Look, take solace in it. Take solace.
I don't think Lofty can grow that much facial hair.
Fucking Christ.
Anyways, check me out on my channel.
We make fun of the ones we love, and Dermy, we love you, man. That's why we've been. That's why we
love you, man. You love me a lot.
Yes,
a whole lot.
Time.
If you ever want to go camping, let us know.
Not with you. Anyways, yeah, check me out on YouTube and Twitters. You know, all that stuff. Raster, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. You're not going to drop your OnlyFans in there? Shit.
Only bronies.
All right. Well, I'm Raster Caster. I'm on Twitter at a real Raster, and I just make shit posts all day. And I come on here on Saturday nights and everything to give everybody a hard time, and that's just about it.
But you give everybody else a hard time.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, of course. And on to my favorite Instagrammer,
Horny Alf?
No. First, before we go to the furry, I have to give more credit, Mr. Raster Caster, the creator of this amazing new icon that we have for Vets Talking and others. This is just the first iteration we're gonna add on here, but thank you so much for the time on that, buddy. Really
no problem. And extra shout out to Comics Division for posing for
it. Okay, the furry one with the best Instagram we've seen so far, which we might have to share the next time we come on.
I'll get to that. Hey, I'm Horny Alf. You can usually see me making memes for F&T and other streams and some political commentary on Twitter. You can apparently also find me on Instagram. Not the one that says Horny Alf, but there's another one if you're into that. And if you're really into it, you can check out my OnlyFur account. So you also see me on several streams: the Legion of Memer stream, this stream, some of ETEP's stream, and Ryan's stream every now and then occasionally. So
yep.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you for being here, buddy. What are you going to say, Ron?
I was just going to say, was that my segue? I didn't know.
No. So first, we're going in order. So first, Devil Made Me Do It. The creation of this amazing background that I have here, Mr. Devil Made Me Do It. Thank you so much. I didn't even ask for this. You just made it because I don't know. You're either you were just bored or you're just that good of a dude. So you deserve a better name than Devil. But go ahead, buddy.
All right, Devil Made Me Do It. Nalik3 on the Twitters. I meme a bunch of the shows, and I just have to say this is the highlight of my week is being on this show. I love talking to you guys. You guys are just great, friendly guys, and I like I said, love being here. Great guys. No matter what Dermy says about you and the military as a whole, I think you guys are awesome.
I never said never mind.
Okay, a simple wrong would have done just fine, but
I have hot takes on the government. What can I say?
You bastard.
I should have glassed the Middle East. Why didn't you drop a few nukes?
I mean, I don't disagree, but that's because I was there. It may have been.
All right, Ryan, Legion Games, sell your wares.
All right. I am the new Lofty with the takes. Apparently, I'll celebrate that next time. I'll come in with a fucking whatever fucking meme. And it's great to be here. I love this show. So Friday night, Monday night on my channel Legion Talk, we're gonna be talking Game of Thrones season 2, episode number 2. And then, of course, fast forward to Friday night is Friday night's Royal Rumble, where Alf is on every once in a while. And, we have Kat, the hijabi gamer, and Joker voice and stuff like that. Also, Tom, the Rogue Attraction. He's a legacy member of that. He pops in every once in a while when he has the chance. And I love Saturday nights. It's a lot of fun talking shit. So thank you, gentlemen, for that. And quite frankly, Lofty was right about Baby Yoda. I mean me. Sorry.
No, you gave that to Lofty. You gave that to Lofty.
True. You relinquished ownership. We all saw it.
So yeah, that was a Lofty take. Anyways,
our resident Marine, Oorah, put Metallicus. Go ahead, buddy.
I am the Ayatollah of rock and rolla. Put Metallicus the first. I have my weekly show tomorrow, Rock and Roll Religion at 4 Eastern, where we pick a band or series of albums and just break down, what they're like, who's on them, the impact on the genre, that kind of stuff. And we just have a fun time doing it. This week is going to be Rainbow, the absolute titan headed by Richie Blackmore and Ronnie James Dio. You can catch me every Monday on It's Only Talk and Roll on 70s Rock Fans channel. This week we are doing a movie special with Canon Films Part 2 featuring Tom Connors from Midnight's Edge and Razor Fist. So that should be a lot of fun.
Nice.
We're doing all the ninja movies from Canon in the 80s. So that's going to be a great one. And then you can catch me on here every Tuesday for Vets Talking Tuesday. And, tonight for, telling dick jokes and just generally being an asshole to Dermy.
Yeah. Hey, I love you all.
That is what
I can take
Skinemax is all about.
We love you, man.
Me? Oh, it's the roast Dermy.
Saturdays are Dermy's turn in the bucket.
Brony Max.
Don't worry, one of you guys will do something stupid eventually.
Hey, we're all military vets, man. We all do stupid shit all the fucking time. We take big pride in it, just like you should. Thank you all, guys, so much. Thank you. Say it again.
At least my pants didn't fall down on stream, so.
We all appreciate that. Yeah. We all really appreciate that. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to the panel. All of you guys are amazing. No Green Rocks and Rogue Attraction Tom stopping in. That's fucking amazing. This has been a great Saturday. Thank you to our moderators. Thank you, Gap After Dark. You've been amazing, dude, for dropping all the links in there for us. Thank you so much. I'm very upset that we didn't have our porn bot popping in today to give you some more work to do. That was a lot of fun that popped in on the last time we were on. Thank you, everybody out there, for being out there. Thank you, and I want to see some comments. We talked a lot of stuff tonight. Let us know if our hot takes were right or if we were wrong. A lot of stuff. Hit those comments. Double tap that like and subscribe. Hit the bell because Mama Susan doesn't like me. She's not promoting me as much as she should be. And remember, this is not just for veterans. This is for everybody. You can tell everybody out there to come see us. Just don't get butt hurt. You've been warned.
Oh, God! Ah!